Good afternoon and welcome to Ben Hines Field here in Laverne, California for Game 2 between the Whittier Poets and the Laverne Leopards. Hi again, everybody. I'm Billy Lopez alongside Chris Livingston. Laverne won the first game of the day by a score of 10-4 and look to wrap up Game 2 coming up. Chris, what did you see during Game 1?
Game 1 was just a huge offensive performance by Laverne. Like you said, they put up 10 runs. They had a number of big hits and when they needed them. The big thing for Whittier that really hurt them was their fielding. Their fielding really cost them a lot of runs. There were a lot of wild throws that allowed Laverne to advance their runners. So they're going to have to make a lot of improvements as far as their fielding goes. And I can see by their starting lineup that they've already made some adjustments as far as who's going to be fielding today.
Yeah, and as we take a look at Whittier's lineup, leading things off will be the second baseman, Lamar, batting second at short, Turfs, batting third, Matthew Macy at first base. In the cleanup spot will be Angelo, designated hitter. Batting fifth in center field will be Mulrooney. Batting seventh at third base will be Blansett. Batting seventh in right field, Kurska. Batting eighth behind the plate catching will be Castro. Rounding up the lineup in left field will be Sam Singh.
So a lot of those guys from that Whittier roster that you mentioned. Turfs had a great game, not just through his hitting, but he was fielding it very well from short. Michael Angulo was a big name as well as a DH. Jared Samsing, he walked all 4 times he was on base, so he showed great plate discipline.
On the mound for Laverne will be Nick Bird. Nick Bird on the season has an ERA at 6.89, 3-1 win-loss record in 12 appearances, has 5 starts, 31 1/3 innings pitched, 46 hits, 25 runs, 24 of which have been earned, has walked 17 and has struck out 24 batters. Leading off for Whittier will be Andrew Lamar. Lamar, the right-handed batter, to face Bird, the first one. And game number 2 is on the inside corner, strike 1. First pitch at 2:53 p.m. And quickly Bird is ahead of Lamar 0-1. Bird rocks and delivers. The 0-1 is going to be popped up to the right side. It'll clear the netting foul, 0-2.
Pitch location is going to be very important for Bird. Lamar only had 2 hits and 1 run in the last game.
In the hole is Lamar, the second baseman, trying to start things off for Whittier. Takes outside 1-2. Coming into the day, Lamar batting .285. Bird, the right-handed pitcher, the 1-2 count is put into play. Over to short on 1 hop. The throw over to Michaels at first is in time for out number 1.
That was great fielding there. Able to anticipate the bounce from the ball, and they're able to pick it up. Jacob Benson at short and able to throw it, that powerful arm, all the way to Michaels at first.
So 1 away, base is empty. That'll bring up Daniel Turfs, the shortstop for Whittier. Bird's first one is upstairs, 1-0 the count. The 0-1 is going to be put into play in right field, but Liggett is there for out number 2. So quickly 2 up and 2 down here for Bird and Laverne.
That's going to be another factor in Game 2 as what we saw in Game 1. The wind has really picked up going from left field to right, so that's going to be a factor. There were a couple times in Game 1 where Whittier would get some big, powerful hits into left, thinking they would go over the wall, but they would drop short as a result of the wind. So that's going to be a big factor to look after today.
2 outs, base is empty. Matthew Macy is the batter. Takes high, 1-0 the count. Matthew batting .385 on the year. Trying to keep the top of the first alive for Whittier as he puts the second pitch in play to the left side. It'll be the third baseman over to first in time. Granado, the third baseman, with a spectacular play. And Bird shuts down Whittier 1-2-3 here in the top half of the first. We go bottom one. Still no score between Laverne and Whittier.
That was great speed, great fielding and concentration by Granado, able to scoop up the ball mid-stride and then able to pick it up and get that easy out at first.
And it's always good to start off with a quick 1-2-3 inning. You get your pitcher in rhythm, and then you get your offense up there to try to get some runs early.
That's very important. That's something that Laverne was able to start out with in game one. One of the issues that both pitchers from both teams were starting to figure out is that when they would get ahead 2 outs quickly, it took them forever to be able to get that third out, and that usually resulted in hits and runs. So hopefully both teams are able to make those adjustments here in game two.
On the mound for Whittier will be Justin Ushio. Has a 3.86 ERA on the year, win-loss of 2-2. 11 appearances on the year. This will be his first start all season long. 14 innings previously, has allowed 12 hits, 8 runs, 6 of which have been earned, has walked 7 batters, and is striking out 10 batters.
He is a senior from Mililani, Hawaii, so definitely a ways away from home and ready to perform today. Try and spoil senior day for Laverne.
It'll work against Liggett leading off for Laverne, followed by Vogel. Jacob Thomas batting third, the designated hitter at cleanup. Nicholas Michaels, the first baseman, batting fifth and catching Santa Cruz. Batting sixth at third, Granado. Batting seventh in left field, Lopez. Batting eighth at second base, Guadarrama. Rounding up the lineup for Laverne at short will be Benson. Whittier dropped to 11-12 after the game one loss. They're fighting for the 4th seed in the playoffs. They were tied with Occidental and Chapman at 11-11 coming in to the day.
While you mentioned that, Laverne right now in a foot race with Redlands, paying attention to what Redlands is doing right now. They're both tied at 18-5 in conference play, and if Laverne can get a win and Redlands can get a loss, Laverne can secure themselves that regular season title.
So in steps the right fielder, Christopher Liggett.
Let's go, Lig!
First one from Ushio. Paints the outside corner, 0-1.
That outside corner has been very friendly to pitchers in both game one and now.
Works both sides of the plate, finds the inside corner this time, and quickly in the hole, 0-2. Ushio. It's the sign from his catcher. The 0-2 is going to be spoiled off to the right side, foul. Count will remain 0-2. Liggett with a .362 average on the year. Scored a run in game one. Also drove in a run.
Looking at that Whittier defense, they have a huge gap right there in center, so definitely look for Liggett to try and aim to center field. That's where a number of base hits were coming from in game one.
Ushio's 0-2 is going to be fouled. Just getting a piece of it off the end of the bat. Pitch in the dirt was Liggett. Stays alive. Infield and outfield play Liggett straight up. Ushio into the wind. His 0-2 is going to be fouled to the left side. Liggett able to get the hands through on an inside pitch.
That was dangerously inside. He was able to get that hit. Unfortunately, went foul to the left.
Castro, the catcher, will go out and talk to Ushio. Ushio in his first start all season long. His previous 11 games all out of the bullpen. Only has worked 14 innings this year.
That may or may not be an issue for Whittier. Trying to see how he's going to be able to react, having to get the starting role.
Liggett puts this one in play to the second baseman, Lamar. Throws over to first in time for out number 1. One away here in the bottom half of the first. Defensively for Whittier from left to right in the outfield. Sam Singh in left, center field Mulrooney. In right field is Kurska. From left to right in the infield, Blancett, Turifs, Lamar, Macy at first. Behind the plate, catching is Castro. And on the mound for Whittier is Justin Ushio.
And as I was saying about Ushio being typically a reliever now in a starting position, is you're going to have to wonder how he's going to be able to handle this workload of being the starter. And it could either be a good thing because he hasn't had many innings pitched, or it could be a bad thing.
In steps Brandon Vogel. 1-0 the count. A 1-0 paints the outside corner 1-1.
This part of the lineup was made pitchers very nervous in game 1 as Vogel went 2 of 4. He also was walked once in game 1.
Ushio with his 1-1 to Vogel. Off speed misses on the outside corner, 2-1. Looming on deck is Jacob Thomas. We're in the bottom of the first. No score between Whittier and Laverne. Base is empty, 1 away for Brandon Vogel. Center fielder in the 2-hole for the second time today. Ushio over the head, misses, just barely outside, 3-1.
You got to figure Vogel is probably going to take advantage being in this hitter's count. He may have the green light to take a swing right here.
Vogel with a 317 average, the 3-1. Finds the outside corner. Count works full.
It was a nice job by Ushio using that outside corner.
Ushio, the righty. That stretch over his head. Payoff pitch misses outside and low. Ball 4. Brandon Vogel with a 1-out walk will bring up Jacob Thomas here in the bottom half of the first. No score.
That was great plate discipline by Vogel, able to keep an eye on that ball as it sails low. Didn't try to chase it either, to get that 4th walk and be able to, that 4th ball, and be able to take that nice little stroll to first.
So in steps the 3-hitter Jacob Thomas. DH'd in game 1. Will do the same here in game 2. Vogel, the runner at first. And Ushio, check on him. Head first dive back in there safely as Vogel. First one to Thomas is way outside, 1-0.
Jacob Thomas has a very powerful swing. There were a couple times in game one where he almost cleared the fence, and his swings are just powerful. That ball is hard to field when Jacob Thomas gets the barrel to the bat.
The 1-0 to Thomas. In there, 1-1. Thomas with 4 homers on the year, 31 runs batted in, a .376 batting average. A career .500 on-base percentage as Liggett's back in there safely. Excuse me, Vogel at first. That head first dive. Thomas takes a slider. 1-2 to count. On deck, the cleanup hitter, Nicholas Michaels, at 4 RBIs in game one. 48 RBIs total on the year. No score, bottom half of the first, runner at first. 1-2 the count to Thomas. Ushio's 1-2's fouled back. We'll do it again.
Thomas being very aggressive with the count, regardless of being down 1-2. Probably trying to take a shot and hit that gap.
Infield and outfield play Thomas straight up. Ushio out of the stretch. The 1-2 is going to be put in play at right side. Into shallow right field is Kurska. Right fielder squeezes it for out number 2.
Good job with Kurska, staying with the ball, being able to follow and make a nice grab to get the out.
In comes Nick Michaels. A bat with 2 away. Vogel at first. 0-0 score here in the bottom half of the first. Just getting started. Game 2 between Whittier and Laverne. Laverne, winners of game 1 by a score of 10-4. As Michaels takes low, 1-0.
And Michaels credited to being a huge part of game 1, getting some big hits when they needed it. So this is a dangerous man to pitch to.
Ushio out of the stretch, his 1-0, waved at and missed, 1-1. Vogel with the small lead at first. Ushio with an eye on him. Now comes to Michaels, the 1-1's foul to the right, 1-2. Michaels with the .342 batting average.
Michaels with another one with a powerful swing. He hit a hard RBI triple into right field in game 1, just bounced off the wall.
1-2's upstairs, 2-2. Michaels kind of a free swinger. 9 walks to 30 strikeouts. Those 30 strikeouts are the most on this Laverne team. The 2-2 count, 2 away. Vogel at first. Bottom 1, Laverne trying to break the score. There goes Vogel, and there goes the ball down the right field line. Fair, Michaels puts it in. Down the line, rounding third is Vogel. The throw will be thrown into the cutoff man, and Nick Michaels delivers with an RBI double, putting Laverne up on top 1-0 here in the bottom half of the first.
And Michaels remains hot from game 1, and he hit a nice one that just went along the right foul line, in between the foul line and the outfielder, and is able to hit it far enough. And then just a great job by Brandon Vogel, able to sprint all the way to home plate. You see the ball bounce off the wall there.
And Vogel was off with the pitch on the 2-2 count. Nice hit and run. Certainly helped Vogel going first to home on the RBI double. Trying to keep the line moving is the catcher, Adam Santa Cruz. And that one's going to hit him square in the back on the first pitch from Ushio. Verne will have runners at first and second. Still 2 outs. Lucas Granado coming up.
As I mentioned, Ushio's inexperience being a starting pitcher, that can really hurt him, and you can see it right now. He's already walked a runner. He's hit a runner. And he just gave up that huge double play, that huge double hit. So not looking good right now for Ushio.
For Laverne, an opportunity to tack on more and give Nick Bird a comfortable lead going out in the top of the second. Need a clutch 2-out hit from Granado. First one in there, 0-1.
Nice little off-speed pitch right down the middle. Catch Granado off guard for the 0-1.
Ushio with an eye at second on Michaels. Another eye, his 0-1. Nearly hits Granada.
Dangerously close inside. The last thing, if you're Ushio, the last thing you want to do is hit another batter or yet walk him, and now you're in a bases loaded situation.
It's the 6th hitter for Laverne this half inning. Already with 1 run scored. Ushio with a step off.
Little miscommunication there, it looked like. Ushio had a chance to throw out the runner.
Granado with a .323 average on the season. 7 RBIs, a chance to add to that total here. The 1-1 from Ushio is in the dirt. Great stop by Castro behind the plate. 2-1 the count.
Granado is a junior from Santa Clarita, California. Graduated from Valencia High School.
Runner at second is Michaels. At first is Santa Cruz. 2 outs. Bottom of the first, 1-0 Laverne. 2-1 the count to Lucas Granado. Ushio out of the stretch. The 2-1's fouled back, 2-2.
A lot of pitching going on for Ushio right now in this first inning. Laverne obviously looking to try and take advantage of that inexperience that he has as a starter.
2 on, 2 out, the 2-2 count. Ushio out of the stretch. Granado fouls that one back. If Granado can reach, it'll be the left fielder, Gabe Lopez.
It's like the Laverne hitters are daring Ushio to throw it in the strike zone because they're going to take a swing either way.
Ushio gets the sign from Castro, sets at the chest, a look at Michaels, comes to his hitter, which is in the dirt. Castro's going to throw down to third. Both runners able to move up on the wild pitch by Ushio. So now 2 in scoring position. Count is full to Granado.
That's just a little bit of that example of the fielding problems that Whittier was facing in game 1. Not many negative occurrences happen for the catcher in game one, but nevertheless.
Payoff pitch to Granado is going to be whacked to the left side. The shortstop, Tiriffs, has trouble with it. A run will come in to score. From third is Michaels. Verne with runners at the corner, still 2 outs. Gabe Lopez coming up in a 2-0 game.
That was a strong hit by Granado, too short. Turfs, who had a great game fielding in game one, lets that ball bounce out and allows for the runner to score. So fielding, which was basically what happened in game one for Whittier, is turning into a problem already now in the first inning.
So Granado reaches on the E6. Michaels scores on the error. Moving over to third is Santa Cruz. In steps the lefty, Gabe Lopez. Takes the first one in the dirt, 1-0. And Castro is going to try to settle down Ushio, already working himself in trouble here in his first inning of work. Ushio retired Liggett quickly. Had him bounce out to second and walked Vogel. And got the number 3 hitter Thomas to fly out. And with 2 outs and a runner at first, Nicholas Michaels hit an RBI double. Ushio would then hit Santa Cruz. And then keeping the inning alive, unfortunately, was the shortstop Tiriffs, as Granado reached on the E6, allowed another run to come in. As they check on Granado at first, but he's back in there safely. So 2 runs home this half inning on 1 hit and an error. Laverne 2-0 early on. The 7th hitter, Gabe Lopez, with a 1-0 count.
Lopez did not play in game one.
Takes low, 2-0. Lopez batting .324 on the year. Has a home run with 6 RBIs. Good patience does Lopez. 6 walks. It's only 3 strikeouts on the year. And ahead of the count here, 2-0. Ushio sets at the chest. Throw to first. That one was a lot closer, but Granado's in there safely.
Trying to keep Granado honest over there on first.
Runners at the corners, bottom of the first. 2 outs. 2-0 Laverne. Ushio another check at first. This time back in there standing is Granado.
You have to wonder what Ushio's composure is looking like right now. He keeps throwing to first.
The 2-0 is the inside corner, 2-1 on the off speed.
He might be a little rattled giving up these hits. His focus seems to be more on first base than at the plate.
Ushio out of the stretch. The 2-1s fouled off to the right side. Count evens up at 2. Two in the home half of the first. Laverne looking for more. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. 2-2 the count to Gabe Lopez. Ushio a check at first, and this time he's got him caught up. But unfortunately, Whittier unable to get him out, as the first baseman, Macy, is going to throw over to third to try to get Santa Cruz. And scooting over to second was Granado safely.
You would have assumed that they would have stuck with trying to keep Granado in between first and second, trying to run him down. But the threat of Santa Cruz at third decided to throw it there to hold him there.
The 2-2 to Lopez is outside ball 3. Count goes full. We'll take a look. Granado is dead in the water right there. Is in there safely at second. 2 in scoring position for Laverne. Bottom half of the first, looking for more. Full count pitch is fouled to the left side.
Laverne working Ushio already deep into his pitch count here in the first.
If Lopez can reach, it'll be Mauricio Guadarrama. Due up. Ushio a long look in, and Castro sets at the chest. The payoff pitch is fouled just off the end of the bat. Lopez continues the battle as Castro will have a word with Ushio. A lot of good at-bats, even the 2 that have been outs for Liggett and Thomas. They were able to make Ushio work, exhaust some of that energy. And it's showing already here in the bottom half of the first. Of course, the inning was extended by the error by the shortstop Turiffs. Again, the payoff pitch from Ushio to Lopez. This one's squared deep to left center field. It'll get down in the gap. The center fielder will pick it up on his way to second with a 2-run double.
Well, as I mentioned, that pitch count of Ushio is going up there, so he has to be getting exhausted here in the first. And Lopez able to take full advantage of that and hit that nicely into left center field, which allowed the runners to advance and turn this already into a big lead for Laverne here. We're only in the bottom of the first.
Verne was down early 2-0 in game 1. Found a way to come back and win it 10-4. As this one, the first pitch is going to be banged into right field for a base hit. Rounding third, coming home. The throw to the plate is not going to be there. An RBI single by Guadarrama keeps the line moving. It is now 5-0 Laverne in the bottom half of the first.
Guadarrama, who had a very good first game of the series as well, able to keep his momentum going and get a nice hit into right field.
Laverne now batting all the way through the order. It's the 9th hitter, Jacob Benson, the shortstop. All 5 runs coming with 2 outs. It began with the RBI double by Nick Michaels, followed by the hit by pitch of Santa Cruz. Granado reached on an error. Gabe Lopez drove in 2 with a double, and Guadarrama brought Lopez in with his RBI singles. This one is going to be bunted down the third base line, and third baseman will scoop it up, and he'll have no play. Blancett was playing deep in the hole at third. The speed of Benson gets him aboard here. Laverne has batted through the entire lineup here in the home half of the first. Christopher Liggett will bat for the 2nd time in this inning.
Laverne had a lot of success in bunting the ball in game 1, and it continues today, and it's that fielding and communication. But looking down at the bullpen, looks like they're about to do a pitching change already at the bottom of the first. So definitely not what Whittier was looking forward to coming into this game.
And Justin Ushio, we mentioned, had not started all season long. All 11 appearances coming out of the pen, and he's unable to get a single inning of work here for Whittier. This is going to stretch their arms here in game number 2. So we mentioned Whittier fighting for the 4th seed, making that last postseason picture. They were tied coming into the day at 11-11 with Occidental and Kowloon. Occidental and Kowloon would both lose, as did Whittier, all of them sitting at 11-12. So for Whittier to make it in, they would need a win here against Laverne, followed by a Pomona-Pitzer loss to somehow squeeze it in.
But when you're mentioning scores and standings and everything, Redlands right now tied with Pomona-Pitzer at the bottom of the third. So, you know, Laverne's definitely hoping for a Redlands loss. And with this 5-0 lead, Laverne's looking very good right now.
Yeah, and Pomona-Pitzer right there, they're no, easy team to roll over, despite Redlands getting the win in game 1, 8-3 over them. This Pomona-Pitzer team is fighting for that last playoff spot as well. So a win, and they're in. And of course, a win and a win here for Laverne would have them the sole champions of SCIAC. We'll be hosting the playoffs next weekend. New pitcher on the mound is Tim Turpin. 342 on the year, 4-0, perfect record. 11 appearances, 6 of them starts, 50 innings of work, 60 hits allowed, 25 runs, only 19 of them earned, has walked 15 and is striking out 35. Turpin is trying to get the last out here in the bottom half of the first as Liggett digs in, takes the strike. 0-1.
Turpin is a junior from Chino Hills High School. From Chino Hills, graduated from Ayala High School.
Two on, 2 out. 5-0 Laverne as Liggett pokes this one down the right field line, foul, 0-2. Liggett began this bottom half, grounded out to second for the first out. Tenth batter of this inning. Turpin to look at second. Couple of looks. Now comes to Liggett, and this one's going to plunk him right there on the left shoulder. It'll load the bases for Brandon Vogel.
That was bad. It looked like he let go of that way too early, and it came in and hit him right in the back of the neck. That doesn't feel good. I don't care who you are.
It's the second hits batter of this bottom half of the first. You take a look at the replay. Up and in, right on the left shoulder.
That does not feel good. And it can't feel good if you're Whittier. Now you have bases loaded again.
And here's Vogel. Walked his first time, came around to scores. The first one from Turpin to Vogel is in the dirt, 1-0. This is where the scorebook gets a little messy. Now the 11th batter batting here in the bottom half of the first. 5 have scored on 4 hits and an error. But still more can happen. Turpin's 1-0 is going to be fouled to the right, 1-1.
There were plenty of situations like this in game 1 where there was bases loaded.
Vogel takes off speed in there, 1-2. So Whittier a strike away from getting out of this disastrous first half inning.
As I mentioned, it was the curse of 2 outs for Whittier and Laverne in game 1, and it seems to have carried on to Whittier in game 2. Having 2 outs, not being able to end it.
As Vogel's going to put this one into center field, a base hit. 2 will come in to score on the 2-run single by Brandon Vogel. Laverne has opened up this one. It is now 7-0 in the bottom half of the first.
That gap between the infield and the outfielders has been very friendly to Laverne in this game. That ball is just dropping. It's not gonna. It hasn't been carrying. It hasn't really been going towards the wall, but it's been falling right where it needs to in these gaps. And it's just been easy going for Laverne in only the first inning. See the ball kind of curves off to the right into that gap. Then it's just a struggle for Whittier to try and limit the amount of base runners that make it home.
Thomas takes the first one from Tarpon outside, 1-0. Is in the dirt, 2-0.
For Whittier, it's not only bad being down 7-0 right now in the first, but having to face this part of the lineup again.
Turpin a quick throw back to first. Diving back in there is Vogel. And Whittier had a few times to get the final out. You remember they had Granado hung up on a pickoff as the 2-0 finds the strike zone, 2-1. But Granado also reached safely on the error by Tireffs at short. So Laverne with runners at the corners. Liggett at third, Vogel at first. Thomas at the dish, already 7 in. Thomas kind of fooled on that one, 2-2 the count.
The defense of Whittier has remained in the same position throughout the entire inning. No shifts, nothing like that has occurred.
2-2 swung on and missed for Turpin. Retires Thomas, but Laverne puts up 7 runs on 5 hits and an error. They leave 2 on base. At the end of 1, the score is Laverne 7, Whittier 0. You're watching Skyac Baseball on LVTV 3, Laverne Community Television.
Got a quarter?
Top of the second, Laverne up on top of Whittier, 7-0. As Bird misses on his second pitch to Angulo. 1-1 to count. Michael Angulo, senior catcher out of Fremont High School. Bird's 1-1. Angulo fouls that one. Looks like off of that left ankle as he's trying to walk it off.
Angulo was the last member of that roster that made it all the way, that made it through game 1. He's pulled out in the 9th and replaced. But he could be a difference maker for Whittier.
The second baseman shifted over slightly to the left side, up the middle of the infield. As Angulo gets under this one, drives this one out to deep center field. Running back is Vogel to make the catch for a loud out number 1. A couple of feet in front of the warning track, to dead center field.
A nice deep hit directly down center field, but unfortunately it dropped before it could get to the wall. And that results in Whittier's first out.
I'll bring up Brandon Mulrooney. Junior outfielder. Takes a strike. 0-1. Nick Bird Quickly into the windup, the 0-1 is way outside, 1-1. Infield and outfield play, Mulrooney straight up. McBird shakes off his catcher. Santa Cruz now gets the sign he likes. Roxon delivers. The 1-1 is fouled to the right, 1-2.
Bird has to be feeling very confident coming into this inning, up 7-0.
This one's going to be poked into the hole between first and second. A 1-out base hit for Whittier, courtesy of Brandon Mulrooney. Mulrooney has just been hitting the cover off of the ball in the month of April. Has a batting average at .381 this month.
That was a hard fastball down the center, and Mulrooney was able to capitalize on it and get that hit into the gap. A nice base hit.
That'll bring up Mason Blansett. Bird for the first time out of the stretch. Blansett outside. Stopped by Santa Cruz, prevents the runner from moving. 1-0 the count. This one's going to be rifled down the third base line. Nothing to do with that one. Renato had that one on a one-hopper, bounce off of his chest. Unable to handle that one, it'll go down as an error.
Now batting number 8.
Blansett reaches on the E5, and now Whittier has runners at first and second, 1 out for Kriska.
A hard hit by Blansett, and Granato did his best to try and field it, but the ball popped up. Looked like it almost hit him in the face. And that kind of threw him off and allowed Blansett the opportunity to get all the way to first base.
First one of Kriska from Bird is right there on the outside corner, 0-1. Bird sets at the belt. Look at the runner at second. Now comes to his hitter. And a foul tip is going to get Santa Cruz pretty good as he's down on a knee. Home plate umpire is going to walk the ball back out to Bird to try to give Santa Cruz time to catch his breath.
Hopefully Santa Cruz is all right. That would be a huge loss. He's a big RBI hitter for Laverne.
Came into the day batting at 400.
He had a big crucial RBI in game 1 that really helped separate Laverne from Whittier. Help begin the score-a-thon that presumed after.
You see they're taking a look at his wrist. And of course, that right hand of his is his throwing arm. So if anything is wrong with that, for Whittier to try to expose it a little bit, maybe put some runners in motion.
Laverne still has another very capable catcher that played in game 1. And that would be Andy Martinez. And he was able to put on quite a performance in game 1 before they brought in Santa Cruz.
They're going to give Santa Cruz a pitch. Threw it back over to Bird. Scott Winterburn, head coach for Laverne, is going to stick with Santa Cruz, at least for this next out. Perhaps the rest of this inning, we'll see. As Bird's 0-2 is going to be spoiled off, fouled back. Kriska, the junior outfielder. Went to school out in Oregon. down here. As he takes outside 1 and 2. On deck for Whittier is Steven Castro. Runner at second is Mulrooney. At first is Blancett. Whittier trying to come back here. They're already down 7-0 in the top of the second. 1 away. Bird checks the runner. The 1-2 is going to be put in play to the left side. Third baseman is going to try to put the tag on at the runner. For sure, the out at first.
That was nice fielding by Granado and a nice throw to first. It looked like the runners may have stepped on Michaels for a bit as they were trying to shake off his foot.
Third baseman Lucas Granado tried to slap the tag on the lead runner, Mulrooney. Umpire says he missed the tag. They were able to get the force at first. Nonetheless, 2 away, 2 in scoring position for Whittier. For the right-handed bat, Steven Castro. Bird sets at the belt. First one's going to be fouled at the plate by Castro. 0-1. Steven Castro, the senior out of Long Beach, California. Went to high school at Wilson. Looks to etch his Whittier team a little bit closer. Scratch their first runs of game 2 on the board. As the 0-1 to Castro is going to miss outside 1-1.
He would love nothing more than to get some sort of base hit to advance the runner and get a score and try to narrow this lead.
Castro takes another one, 1-2. Castro's batting average has gone up month by month. In February, he batted .222, and then in March, .250. And here in April, has batted .300. Whittier trying to hope that bat continues. As the 1-2's outside, count evens up at 2. Top of the second. Verne 7, Whittier nothing. 2 runners in scoring position for Castro. The catcher for Whittier. The 2-2 from Bird is swung on and missed in the dirt. Santa Cruz will apply the tag to Castro. Bird works himself out of trouble. Nothing to go besides a hit and an error. 2 left on base. No runs for Whittier. We go bottom 2, Laverne. Out comfortably, 7-0 over Whittier.
As I do a little quick score check, Redlands is currently on top of the bottom of the 4th, 5-2 over Pomona Pitzer. So it started out as a close game, and now it looks like Redlands is starting to take over there.
And if Redlands ends up winning today, as it looks like they might do with the 5-2 win over Pomona, and if Laverne wins in game 2, which they have a 7-0 lead right now, then what will happen is Redlands and Laverne will be co-champions of SCIAC for the regular season. But Laverne will host next week the tournament because in the regular season, Laverne won the season series against Redlands 2-1.
Oh, okay, so that would be the tiebreaker?
Yes.
I would have figured that they would have went with overall record.
They're going to go with the head-to-head and the tiebreaker to see who hosts. And all 3 of those games, if you look back at the score between Laverne and Redlands, were all really close games. You had one with Laverne winning by a score of 7-6 in 11 innings, then dropping the second one 13-9, and then winning 9-7.
So that'll definitely be a series to watch in the tournament.
4, 5, and 6 due up for Laverne here in the bottom half of the second. You might think 4, 5, 6 due up in the bottom half of the second. Laverne probably went 1, 2, 3. That's not the case. They sent 12 men to the plate in the bottom half of the first and scored 7. As Michaels having his second go around. He's gonna chop this one to third base. Tough play for Blancet. He's gonna throw wide of his first baseman, and Michaels gonna cruise on over into second. Likely let's see what they rule it here.
And another wild throw cost Whittier. There were multiple throws like that occurred in game 1, and it seems to continue today in game 2.
So it'll be a base hit for Michaels, and he'll advance to second on the error by Blancet, the third baseman. So just like that, Laverne with another runner in scoring position. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the second for Adam Santa Cruz. So we'll take a look at how his wrist is doing batting-wise as he takes low 1-0.
Good to see Michaels is running at full speed. There was a little bit of concern there when he was stepped on after fielding a ball at first. It doesn't seem to be affecting him now, as he was able to get himself easily to second.
1-0 finds the inside corner. Right at the knees, 1-1.
And as you mentioned with Santa Cruz and that hurt wrist, he is an RBI beast for Laverne. So we'll see if he can be able to drive in Michaels. It all depends on that wrist that he hurt earlier.
Santa Cruz is gonna chop this one to the third baseman. A look back at second, fires over to first to get Santa Cruz. Michaels has to stay put with the ball hit to his right. One away for Laverne here in the bottom half of the second. It'll bring up the third baseman, Lucas Granado. Reached on an error in the bottom half of the first. Came around to score.
Santa Cruz had a nice hit. Unfortunately, had a bounce that just let the ball carry up there for a bit. Good fielding by Whittier to hold Michaels at second and then to throw Santa Cruz out at first.
This one's going to be rocked to left field. Going back on it is Sam Singh. In front of the warning track, makes the catch for out number 2. Granado gave that first pitch fastball in the inner part of the plate a ride to left field. But again, with that wind blowing, kept that one in the ballpark.
Turpin, who's took over at the end of the first, he seems to be getting some confidence now, getting 2 straight outs.
In steps to the left fielder, Gabe Lopez. Thought about offering. Takes the ball 1-0. For Laverne, this is exactly what they wanted. 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. All 7 runs coming in with 2 outs. 1-0 to Lopez is upstairs, 2-0. Lopez had a 2-run double his first at bat and came across to score on the RBI single by Guadarrama.
Looking at the Whittier defense now, they're a little bit closer to second due to Michaels being there, and there's a huge gap in between first and second.
2-0 misses inside, 3-0 to Lopez.
I figure Lopez has a green light to swing here.
Turpin to look at Michaels. Now comes 3-0. Misses a 4-pitch walk to Lopez. First and second for Laverne. We'll bring up Mauricio Guadarrama.
Now batting, second baseman number 3, Mauricio Guadarrama.
And that's got to hurt. You get 2 straight outs, and then you throw 4 straight balls to walk the runner. And now you have 2 runners on base, and a guy that can really hit it as well right here.
Guadarrama takes outside and low, 1-0. Guadarrama in his first at-bat promptly swung at the first one. Drilled it into right field for an RBI single. Has a chance to add more here. The 1-0 finds the outside corner, 1-1. Michaels at second, Lopez at first, Guadarrama at the dish. Turpin an out away from getting out of this bottom half of the second as this one finds the inner part of the plate, 1-2.
Little off-speed pitch on the inside that Guadarrama thought was too far inside. The umpire thought differently.
Turpin sets at the chest, out of the stretch. Delivers low. Count evens at 2.
Try to fool Guadarrama and try and have him swing at that fastball at the outside.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2 the count. Turpin sets at the chest. A look at Michaels at second. Now comes to Guadarrama. He pokes this one to the left side. Having trouble is the shortstop. It'll load the bases here.
Turfs lets another one get by him. Dribbles one, bounces it around.
Number 2,
As mentioned before, Turfs had an awesome game 1 where he was fielding everything, and it seemed like everyone around him was dropping the ball. It seems to be a different case here in game 2 as he's bobbled a couple himself.
Yeah, that left side of the infield for Whittier has been their Achilles heel. Sure, they've given up 6 hits, but a lot of those runs have been unearned thanks to the 2 errors by Tiriffs at short and one of them by the third baseman, Blancett. As Benson is behind in the count, 0-1. Benson had a base hit, came around to score on the 2-run single by Vogel in the bottom half of the first. 0-1 hits the dirt, 1-1.
This is the second bases loaded situation that Laverne has brought themselves to in as many innings, so that's very impressive on their part.
Turpin out of the stretch. 1-1 misses inside, 2-1. For Turpin, you got to figure he didn't expect coming in the game as early as it already is. He was asked to get the final out in the bottom half of the first. So 2-1 is going to find the outer part of the plate, 2-2. Bases loaded for Laverne here in the bottom half of the second. They lead 7-0 over Whittier. All 7 coming in the bottom of the first. Michaels at third, Lopez at second, Guadarrama at first. As this one's going to be drilled to the right side, it'll be Lamar at second. Over to first in time. So Turpin finds himself in trouble, but is able to escape the bases loaded situation. We go to the top of the third. Laverne all over this one, 7-0. You're watching SkyAct Baseball on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. Top of the third here at Ben Hines Field, Laverne with a comfortable 7-0 lead over Whittier. Nick Bird on the mound, third inning of work. 9-1-2 due up for Whittier, as the number 9 hitter Jared Samsing takes a strike, 0-1. Samsing, the freshman outfielder for Whittier, finds himself in a 1-1 count. In there, 1-2.
Samsing, who walked all 4 times he was at the plate in game 1. He shows really good plate discipline.
A 1-2. Doesn't offer at a close one. 2-2. And with those 4 walks, he's able to come across 3 times for Whittier. Scored 3 of the 4 runs. As the 2-2 nearly hits him. Able to get out of danger there. As the count is full, 3-2. Payoff pitch to Samsing's in the dirt. And wouldn't you know, Samsing's aboard first with a walk.
5 straight times between these 2 games. Unbelievable.
So the lineup turns over. It'll be the second baseman, Andrew Lamar.
Now batting, number 2, Andrew Lamar.
And for Samsing, you know, 5 walks with these 2 games combined is kind of a little bit different. On the season coming in, he had 12 walks to 29 strikeouts. I mean, he's almost reaching half of what he's done all season long just in two games and in 1 day, as Lamar didn't like the location of that one. Nonetheless, he's behind 0-1. Kind of slumped his shoulders after the home plate umpire raised his hand for strike 1.
With Samsing, you know, that has to say a lot about him. Possibly he's possibly been working on that, as you can see. I mean, he's been showing great plate discipline. He hasn't been swinging at too many crazy pitches. He's just been letting the pitchers pitch around him and allowing himself to walk.
And it's not like it's just been 4 straight balls each time. This last time he was up there in a 1-2 count. Took a pitch nearly off the corner to make it 2-2, and then would eventually walk. Here's the 0-1 to Lamar, puts it in play to third base. They go the short way for 1, back to first in time. 5-4-3 double play to clear the bases here in the top of the third.
Great fielding and even better passing
Now batting, number 11.
to get that 5-4-3 double play. So despite giving up the walk, you get yourself still up 2 outs.
So base is empty for the shortstop, Daniel Tariffs. Flew out to right in his first time. Fouls this one to the right side, 0-1. Whittier, no runs on 1 hit, 3 errors. Laverne, 7 runs on 6 hits, 1 error. Nick Bird's 0-1 is going to be put in play to the left side. The third baseman, Granado, will throw to first in time for out number 3. So Bird gets a 5-4-3 double play after the leadoff walk, and then gets Tariffs to ground out to third for a quick 1-2-3 inning. We go bottom 3, Laverne still up on top, 7-0 over Whittier.
Bird really hasn't had to do much today. It's been all his fielding that's really helped him out. And that can help him out a lot, especially an inning like this where you throw minimal pitches.
And worked his way out of trouble just a little bit in the second inning. But of course the fielding gave up 1 error for Laverne. But Nick Bird not blowing anything past anybody, fooling anybody too much, just pitching to contact and letting his defense work for him here through 3 innings.
And he hasn't given up many, if any, big hits. He hasn't given up any multi-base hits. He's just been doing his thing, and when you're up 7-0, it gives you a lot of confidence to do whatever you want. You're not gonna. He doesn't have to worry about how close the game is.
Yeah, and the one hit that he did allow was just a base hit into right field on the ground. It was a hard hit ball, but on the ground, and you could live with those.
Meanwhile, for Whittier, it's been a completely different story with their fielding. It's been their Achilles heel both these games.
So bottom half of the third, Chris Liggett already with his third at bat now as he leads off here for Laverne. Liggett 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. Infield and outfield play him straight up as Turpin fires in a strike 0-1. Second one to Liggett's upstairs, 1-1 the count.
For Turpin, he's given up 2 hits. He's walked 1. He's only got 1 strikeout in his 1.1 innings pitched.
The 1-1's fouled back off the netting, 1-2.
You know, that's impressive for Turpin. Despite the situations he came in, he hasn't given up a run.
Out of the wind, the 1-2 to Liggett is low, 2-2. Tim Turpin came out of the pen early. In the bottom of the first with 2 outs as Liggett puts this one in play to right field. It'll be Nick Kriska underneath it, moves on in 10 steps towards the infield dirt for out number 1.
Great job by Kriska to stick with the ball with the sun in his eyes, able to field that ball to get the out.
That'll bring up Vogel, junior outfielder. Batting .322 on the year. Home run and 35 runs batted in. Watches the first one outside 1-0. Vogel loves hitting here at Ben Hines Field, a .349 average. The 1-0's foul to the right, 1-1.
This is that aggressive part of the batting order. If you're Turpin, you want to try and get through here with as little damage as possible.
1 out, base is empty. The 1-1 to Vogel. Nice bender, 1-2. Laverne scored 7 in the bottom half of the first. Since then, no runs. Turpin gets the sign from Castro, but Vogel wants time. Infield and outfield play Vogel straight up.
And Laverne's been able to load the bases twice in the first 2 innings. Let's see if they can do it again.
The 1-2 is going to be whacked into right field for a base hit. Rounding is Kurska to throw it in and keep Vogel at first. The 7th hit allowed by Whittier pitching today. In steps Jacob Thomas.
25, Jake Thomas.
The only Laverne hitter to not reach base safely here in game 2. 0 for 2 with a fly out and a strikeout. Turpin out of the stretch, and Thomas is going to foul this one off of himself, 0-1.
As mentioned, Thomas hasn't reached base safely yet, but he's a guy that could change that in one quick swing.
Runner at first is Vogel. Vogel's reached base safely all 3 plate appearances. Walked in the first, singled in the second, and singled here in the third. 0-1 to Thomas. Vogel at first, bottom of the third, 7-0 Laverne. Turpin out of the stretch, and Thomas is going to get underneath this one. Into center field is Mulrooney for out number 2. Mulrooney drifted over about 7 steps towards that right center field gap.
Now batting first baseman.
He was able to get under it, but it hit the upper part of the barrel, where it was just able to float up there and not get the distance he wanted.
In steps the cleanup hitter for Laverne, Nick Michaels. At an RBI double. Followed it up with a single, is 2 for 2 today. Takes low, 1-0. Michaels is going to rock that one foul to the right side. 1-1 the count. Look at Vogel at first. He's back in there with a head first dive. The 1-1 to Michaels is going to be drilled left center field, running at the track to make the catch, running into the fencing there in dead center field was Brandon Mulrooney.
What a catch. I thought that ball was gone, and he's able to stick with it, chase after, and make the grab, and bounce off the wall.
He was running out of room, but Brandon Mulrooney somehow caught up to that one right there. I was looking at Tim Turpin's stuff. I was a fan of Mike Trout. It looked kind of Mike Trout-esque out there in center field for Mulrooney. We go top 4, Laverne 7, Whittier nothing. You're watching Skyac Baseball on LVTV 3, Laverne Community Television.
To pose, now sure. She makes the sound seem, makes me deep in the lost scene.
Top of the 4th here in Laverne, California. Ben Hines Field is the site for Skyac Baseball Division 3 between Laverne and Whittier. Laverne up on top 7-0. But Whittier, after that great defensive play by Brandon Mulrooney in center field, trying to turn defense into offense here in the top half of the 4th.
Now batting. 17.
It'll be 3, 4, and 5 due up for Whittier. Matthew Macy takes a strike from Bird, 0-1. Nick Bird working on his 4th inning of work, has allowed a hit, no runs. As a second one to Macy is going to dip low, 1-1.
Bird has been having him a game. He's only given up 1 hit. He's only walked 1.
Paints the outside corner, 1-2.
1 strikeout off of 11 batters faced and 3 innings pitched. He really hasn't had to do much.
The 1-2 is going to be ripped into right field for a leadoff single here for Whittier. First time Whittier has gotten their leadoff person on base.
Now batting number 14, Michael Angula.
As Michael Angulo comes up. Bird sets at the belt. Comes to Angulo, strike 0-1.
That's a nice little strike on the outside corner there. You gotta wonder if Whittier's gonna try and become a lot more aggressive at the plate and try and narrow down this lead, especially with a runner on base.
The 0-1 from Bird is low, 1-1. Runner at first is Macy. At the dish is Angulo. 0 for 1 on the day.
Check a 1-2, 1-2.
The 1-1 inside, 2-1. Nick Bird allowed a leadoff walk in the last half inning. Then was able to get a 5-4-3 double play. Would love the same here. The 2-1 to Angulo is low and inside, 3-1. Fantastic stop by Santa Cruz.
That could have been a bad wild pitch right there. That was a great job by Santa Cruz, able to dive for that ball.
Macy at first has 4 stolen bases, has been caught once. Surprised that we have not seen any Whittier players in motion, especially with Santa Cruz getting one off of his throwing arm. As now, there goes the runner, and there goes the ball in the right center field gap. It'll roll all the way to the fence, and Angulo's gonna deliver here with an RBI double to get Whittier on the board. It is now a 7-1 game.
Finally, a bat for Whittier wakes up. That was a nice hit as the ball, thanks to this wind, was able to curve off into right center field where there was no fielders in the vicinity. And it was just able to roll all the way to the fence and allowed Angulo to get the second and to advance his runner all the way to home to turn this into a 7-1 game.
Up to bat is Mulrooney, coming off of that highlight catch in center field. Takes outside 1-0. Coming into this inning, the only hit by a Whittier player was Mulrooney, but back-to-back hits here in the top of the 4th have changed their fortune. Bird sets at the belt, looks at Angulo, now comes to Mulrooney inside, 2-0. Mulrooney batting .333 on the season. Comes up empty on a big, healthy cut, 2-1.
Nice little pitch inside, a nice aggressive swing by Mulrooney, but not able to make contact. Hit nothing but air there.
The 2-1 from Bird is inside. Actually went behind Mulrooney. Somehow Santa Cruz was able to locate that. And the home plate umpire is going to say that it must have hit his jersey. And Scott Winterburn's going to come out and...
I didn't see any contact there with Mulrooney. I did see the ball do a last-minute cut to the back of Mulrooney, but I didn't see any actual contact there.
batting number 16.
Not sure if we were able to pick up that, but he was saying that it just looks terrible. Walks off saying that he got it right. So Mulrooney reaches on the hit by pitch.
As you look, the ball at that point made a cut to the outside.
And that one is gonna dip low 1-0. Mulrooney didn't look like he got hit, so it must have just grazed the back of the jersey somehow.
From our view, it didn't look like it touched him at all. I guess just from the umpire's point of view, it was made some sort of contact.
And he's got just a better view right there. He's standing right behind the catcher. Nonetheless, 2 on for Whittier. Nobody out here in the top of the 4th. As Bird's gonna take a step off. Mason Blansett, third baseman, trying to keep the line moving here. Tell you, Whittier doing exactly what we were talking about, trying to let that defensive play turn into some offense here. As this one's gonna be drilled deep to left center field. Going back, it is gonna be off the fence. Coming in to score easily is Angulo, rounding third, and coming in as well will be Mulrooney, first to home. It is a 2-run double for Mason Blansett to cut the lead now 7-3.
That was a hit by Blansett. I mean, granted, he's using a metal bat, but you just hear, I mean, it sounded like he was using a major league bat there. It was just one solid hit. And I was pretty sure that was going to go out. Bouncing off at the wall right in front of the 388.
Yeah, here at Ben Hines Field, really deep ballpark. So take a look, the crowd giving Nick Bird a round of applause. Scott Winterberg going to his bullpen. As I was mentioning, the dimensions here at Ben Hines Field, you got 331 down the left field line, 388, which was where Blansett was able to drill the double off the wall to left center field, 410 to dead center, 372 right center field, and 327 down the right field line.
I mean, that's insane. If that were Dodger Stadium, that would have been gone.
So Laverne will go to the pen. Nick Bird ran into trouble here in the 4th inning. 4 batters so far for Whittier here in the top of the 4th. All 4 of them have reached base safely. Inning began with a base hit by Matthew Macy, followed up by an RBI double by Michael Angulo. And then Mulrooney would get hit by the pitch. And then just moments ago, Mason Blansett, a 2-run double to score Angulo and Mulrooney to make it a 7-3 game. As we take a look at the new pitcher for Laverne. It'll be Travis Moffat. 1.42 ERA on the year, 1-0 record. It'll be his 5th appearance. 7 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 2 hits, has walked 4, and has struck out 10.
Moffitt made an appearance in game 1 as he gave up a run. He had a good start. He had a quick strikeout, but then after that he kind of struggled. And then he was replaced by Hayden Firth, who took over for the rest of the game.
And for Whittier, you got to give them credit. Coming down in game 2 after getting beat 10-4 in game 1. And then to start game 2 down 7-0. Now working their way back here, 3 here in the top half of the 4th, still looking for more as there's still nobody out with a runner in scoring position. Give this Whittier team credit. They're not going to go down easily.
And I think this may have started to wake up Laverne, who's probably been asleep there for a bit with this 7-0 lead as they watch it slowly diminish. I'm sure we may see their bats start to wake up more in the oncoming innings. Travis Moffitt, someone that we really don't know a whole lot of. It hasn't had a whole lot of mound time. But he's got a powerful arm. It's just a matter of him sticking with it and not panicking in these types of situations.
Kriska squares the bunt, the snap throw back to second. It's going to be kept in the infield by Benson at short.
That was a nice stop by Benson because I thought it was going to go past him there for a second. That could have ended in disaster.
And Blancett just getting a great secondary lead at second base, and Santa Cruz trying to keep him honest. Kriska's 0 for 1 today. Bounced out to the third baseman in his first at bat. Moffitt sets at the belt. Comes to Kriska. This one's going to get past Santa Cruz, and moving over to third easily is Blancett.
Not something you want to see out of Moffitt right now coming in. Throwing a wild pitch like that. That advances Blancett up to third.
As you take a look at first baseman Michaels and the second baseman Guadarrama, we're going to go out there and talk to Moffitt a little bit. As the infield for Laverne's going to come in to try to protect the runner from third to score. Travis stands on the first base side of the rubber. The 2-0. Outside. 3-0. Is way outside. It gets past Santa Cruz. Coming on in to score on the wild pitch is Blancett. It is now 7-4. Whittier has been able to trim the lead of Laverne now to only 3. Still nobody out.
It looks like Laverne's going to be doing another pitching change. That's it. That was quick work of Moffitt.
So Laverne goes to the pen again. It'll be
Pitching change for the Leopards. Now pitcher number
Tyler
32, Tyler Agaganian.
Agaganian, 5.4 ERA, 1-0 on the year. 5 appearances, 3 starts in 10 innings of work, has allowed 10 hits, 10 runs, 6 of them earned, has walked 10 batters, and has struck out 7. As Scott Winterburn's going to give him a little bit of a pep talk there. Winterburn's demeanor kind of a little upset ever since Mulrooney was hit by the pitch. And it's almost carrying over to this Laverne pitching staff here in the top half of the fourth. The momentum has shifted all the way over to the Poets' side, despite Laverne still having a 7-4 lead here in the top of the fourth.
And you got to understand the coach's frustration. You were up 7-0. You've had a couple occasions where you could easily put this game completely out of reach. I was pretty sure on a couple of those occasions this game could have been 10-11-0. So the bats haven't been delivering when they're supposed to. And then you got the pitching, which just diminished now in this inning with Bird and now Moffitt. And then a few of these mistakes, such as that Mulroney hit. So you can tell that coach is definitely very, very frustrated right now, and he just wants to try and get a grasp of things and stop Whittier from regaining momentum. Right now, as you take a look at Redlands and Pomona, Redlands still up 5-2. So, you know, they're thinking about that as well.
So the big lefty stands on the first base side of the rubber. We'll need to get all 3 outs here in the top of the fourth.
Agaganian, he's had 3 starts, 5 appearances. He's got a 1-0 record. He's got a 5.40 ERA and 7 strikeouts in this season. In 10 innings pitched. So hopefully he can forget about that ERA and just come out and do his thing to try and prevent any further runs from being scored.
And the lefty stands at 6'2", out of Whittier, California, trying to beat his hometown here.
Now we'll see what the sophomore from Whittier can do.
Here's Steven Castro, the catcher for Whittier in the 8-hole for game 2. 0 for 1 on the day. Struck out swinging to end the bottom half of the second. Excuse me, top half of the second. 5 up, and all 5 have reached base safely. 4 in for Whittier in the top half of the 4th. And there's a check on first. Kriska's in there standing. Castro squares the bunt, pulls it back, takes a ball. 1-0 the count.
There's an inside fastball. Santa Cruz has been in the dirt quite a bit, diving to save a lot of these wild pitches.
Corners in for Laverne. Middle of the infield in double play depth. As Castro squares the bunt again, takes a ball 2-0.
Kriska trying to get a little distance away from first base.
Castro will take time. Megajanian sets at the belt and delivers. Castro is going to bunt this one foul to the right side. 2-1.
I don't recall seeing any other bunts from Whittier in this game. So this will be interesting to see how Laverne can react to a bunt.
Top of the 4th, 7-4 Laverne. Nobody out. Megajanian throws over to first. Kriska's back in there safely standing. Squares the bunt, pops it up, and Santa Cruz makes the grab. Castro slamming his bat in the dirt at home plate with frustration. Unable to get the bunt down safely and move over the runner, so Megajanian gets Castro for out number 1 in the top of the 4th.
That was bad luck there. He got the bunt. It's popped up right in no man's land, right in the area you don't want it to be. But he wasn't really having luck with any of those attempted bunts prior.
In steps the number 9 hitter, Jared Sampson. Walked his first time up. Takes a strike, 0-1.
Mr. Walk It Out himself. He's been walked 5 straight times between game 1 and 2.
Megajanian has been very deliberate since coming in. Almost taking that momentum away from Whittier as he throws to first to check on Kriska. He's back in there safely. Oh, 1. This is outside. 1-1.
And a lot of these runs by Whittier have been started here when Sampson gets on base.
Janian with that right foot planted, almost pointed towards second base. Now comes to the hitter. Low, 2-1. Runner Runner at first is Kriska. A decent lead. The battle between Agajanian and Samsing. Another throw over to first.
Still only 1 out for Whittier.
Samsing takes one, 2-2.
So that's impressive for Whittier, putting up all 4 of their runs here in this inning and only giving up 1 out thus far. They are definitely trying to rally back right now.
Samsing, freshman out of Arizona, trying to keep the line moving for Whittier. Takes inside, 3-2.
Does the streak continue? Does he get walk number 6?
Infield in double play depth. 1 out runner at first, and Samson's gonna fight this one off back. And we'll do it again.
That was really inside. I think he could have gotten away with a walk there.
Samsung is hitting to 3 double plays on the year. Janian sets at the belt. Will step off. 7-4 Laverne up on top of Whittier in the top of the 4th. 1 away. Full count to Samsung. The runner at first is Kurska. Payoff pitch is going to be put in play into shallow right field. Coming on in is Leggett trying to scoop it up. It's going to bounce in for a base hit. Moving over to third easily is Kriska. So Samsung finally puts bat to ball here for the first time all day and gets a base knock. Runners at the corners for Whittier.
And that dropped right in the precise spot it needed to. It landed in between about 3 different Laverne fielders there. That was very impressive. And then it still dropped in a spot where it allowed Kurska to get all the way to third.
One of those little bloop singles that just drops in there. Sometimes you'll hit the ball at 100 miles per hour right at a fielder, and sometimes you'll get it just off the end of the bat for a base hit.
Whittier continues to stay alive.
In steps the leadoff hitter, Andrew Lamar. Runners at the corner, 7-4 Laverne leads. First one to Lamar is upstairs and outside, 1-0. It's the 8th hitter for Whittier this season, or this inning. And Scott Winterburn's gonna have another trip down. He'll go to the pen once again here this inning. Inning began with Nick Bird, and then brought in Travis
Moffitt.
And then you bring in Tyler Agajanian, and now going to the pen for a 4th time this inning. It's AJ Jimenez comes in. 4.69 ERA, a 6-1 win-loss record. 20 appearances, the most a Laverne reliever has seen. Has 2 starts on the year, 48 innings pitched. It's allowed 61 hits, 31 runs, 25 of them earned. Has walked 9 to 23 strikeouts.
Jimenez is a junior from Temple City, graduated from Arcadia. He's a 2017 honorable mention all-conference for SCIAC. He gets the nod now to try and close out this inning. And you got to figure, Billy, with the fact that they've already used the amount of pitchers in this inning as possible, that they would want Jimenez to at least carry this on for a few innings.
Oh yeah, you gotta have him, and he's been that guy for them that's been able to do that. As I mentioned, he's came out of the pen the most times this season for Laverne. This is going to be his 21st appearance of the year. Has started 2 games, so can also go a little bit the distance for Laverne, and he's going to need to eat up some innings here and eat up some outs. But the big thing here is just getting out of this inning first and not letting Whittier continue this momentum.
And you got to give Whittier all the credit in the world right now. I mean, they were left in the water at 7-0. You could, the way that they were playing in those first few innings, you could have assumed that this game was over. But something just happened. Something sparked, and now we're looking at a 7-4 lead right now for Laverne, with 2 men on base, top of the lineup. This is going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
And looking over the season statistics for A.J. Jimenez, the longest he has gone this year was 5 1/3 against Vassar in a 10-3 win back on March 17. That game, he actually ended up picking up a win. So 5 1/3 was his longest outing. Definitely has the ability to eat up some innings here for Laverne. So the batter's still Andrew Lamar. He's up there with a 1-0 count. Agajanian was pulled after the first pitch to Lamar. Runners at the corners. Kriska at third, Samsing at first. Whittier trails by 3, the tying run at the plate. As Jimenez's first one dips low, 2-0 to Lamar. Both teams, it's been the big inning. Laverne sent 12 men up to the plate in the bottom half of the first, scored 7. Thus far, there have been 8 Whittier players to come up here in the top of the 4th and have scored half of them. Jimenez throws to first, and it looks like they got him picked off. A great move by A.J. Jimenez to pick off the runner at first in Samsing for a big out, number 2.
That was crucial, and that was a great job by Jimenez, able to see Samsing far enough out the bag that he could pick him off unexpectedly. And for Samsing, he may have hurt the rally right here with that out.
Two-0, swing and a miss, 2-1. Lamar was not thinking off speed on a 2-0 pitch. Jimenez fooled him. The 2-1, outside corner, 2-2.
Looked like a nice little two-seam fastball, had that late movement there to the outside.
Now Laverne a strike away from getting out of this disastrous top of the 4th. Two outs, the 2-2 count. Jimenez delivers, swing and a miss by Andrew Lamar. Jimenez comes in, picks off Samsing at first, then strikes out Lamar to get out of danger here in the top of the 4th. But Whittier has worked themselves back into this game. They sent 8 up to the plate and score 4 on 4 hits. We go bottom 4, Laverne 7, Whittier 4.
Top of the 4th seemed to go on forever. That was a great job by A.J. Jimenez, threw in some nasty stuff there. Just look, the swing and miss. And you can tell, you could see Lamar's frustration as soon as he was taking off all his gear. He was mad, he wanted to get a hit, especially when you leave a guy on third base, that hurts. And you know, Jared Samsing has to be kicking himself too, getting caught off the bag like that.
And on that replay again, you could also just see just how fooled and out in front Lamar was on the pitch by Jimenez.
Jimenez had to have been coach's ace up his sleeve to throw out there, because it seemed like none of the pitching could get it done. You throw him out there and he gets 2 guys out in 1 at bat.
Pretty impressive stuff for Jimenez.
can he carry it on, and can they keep him out there for the long run?
On the mound for Whittier is still Tim Turpin. Came in the bottom half of the first with 2 outs as Justin Ushio just couldn't get out of that ugly first inning for Whittier.
And Turpin, he's got 1 strikeout, 1 walk, 3 hits in the 13 batters he's faced, but he has not allowed a single run since that 7-0 beginning for Laverne.
And for Turpin, it hasn't been just easy sailing. It's kind of been playing with fire, especially in the second inning. Had the bases loaded with 2 outs, but was able to get Jacob Benson to ground out to second base.
But that was really the last time he was actually in major trouble. He handled business. He came in and handled business in the last inning.
Files in a strike to Santa Cruz, 0-1.
With Santa Cruz, you got to wonder if that wrist is affecting him at all. I mean, he had that pop out in at his last at bat.
The 0-1 to Santa Cruz, going to be off the end of the bat, popped it up to the right side. The right fielder, Kriska, shades himself over 5 steps towards the right field line for out number 1.
Kriska's been pretty busy out there in right field, fielding a lot of these deep hits that Laverne is hitting. Laverne just hasn't seemed to be able to find those gaps that they were aiming for before.
And for Turpin to get the first out, that is a big thing to do here, especially all that time resting in the dugout. You could come out a little bit cold, but good for him to get out number 1. As Granado takes a strike, 0-1. A little hot shot to the third baseman, Blancett for out number 2.
The momentum shifting.
Fielder number 16.
Even for Whittier's fielding. Ball went directly to third base. And Bland's able to make a nice little grab there without even having to do much. You got to wonder if there's what the feeling is like in the dugout for Laverne.
Lopez takes the ball outside, 1-0. Lopez has reached base safely both times. Promptly had a 2-run double his first plate appearance, and then walked his last time up. Lopez gives this one a ride into right center field. Moving on over is the center fielder, Mulrooney. Puts it away in the right center field gap for out number 3. Tim Turpin, for the first time, has a 1-2-3 inning to retire Laverne here in the bottom half of the 4th. We'll go top 5 here from Ben Hines Field. Laverne still out in front, 7-4 lead over Whittier. Billy Lopez alongside Chris Livingston. You're watching Skyac Baseball on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning, 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash, 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Top of the 5th here in Laverne, California, Ben Hines Field, the home of the Laverne Leopards baseball team. AJ Jimenez worked out of trouble in the top of the 4th. got 2 outs to face just 1 batter. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 due up for Whittier. Last half inning put up 4 runs.
Now batting number 11, Daniel.
Now only trail Laverne by 3, score 7-4.
Coach Winterburn wanting to stick with Jimenez after that. Those 2 quick outs that he got in the last inning.
Jimenez behind in the count 1-0. Daniel Cherifs, 2 errors at short, trying to atone himself here with the bat. 1-0, beautiful off-speed curve, 1-1.
Turfs is a guy that can get it, that can really hit it as well. Almost had one go out of the park in game 1.
1-1, swing and a miss, had the home run swing there, came up empty, 1-2.
You know, he's going to be wanting to get his own type of offense after giving up some of those errors. It's a junior out of Yorba Linda.
1-2, way outside, 2-2.
Jimenez probably hoping he would chase that pitch.
Some final lines for some of the pitchers here for Laverne. Nick Bird went 3 innings, allowed 4 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, walked 1, struck out 1. Travis Moffitt didn't even retire an out, walked his first batter as this one's fouled back. 2-2, the count remains. Tyler Agajanian worked a third of an inning, allowed a hit. No runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Daniel Cherifs, the shortstop for Whittier, trying to get things started here in the top of the 5th. A hard hit bouncer over to second. A beautiful play by Guadarrama, throws to first, and a nice scoop at first by Michaels for out number 1.
Great fielding there by Guadarrama, able to grab the ball off of that bounce. And although the ball was dangerously close to the deck, it was a nice scoop up by Michaels for that quick out. So Jimenez continuing to deliver, continuing that momentum left from the last inning.
In steps the first baseman, Matthew Macy. The righty's 1 for 2 today. Takes outside 1-2. Macy singled his last time up. Led off the top of the 4th. Gonna get that rally going for Whittier. The 1-0 is gonna be ripped into left field, so Macy back-to-back singles here. And Whittier has a runner at first, 1 out here in the top of the 5th.
Able to drill that one to left field.
Number 14, Michael Angula.
Continues the momentum for Whittier. As Angulo, who really can get things going, steps up.
And his last time up had an RBI double. Went a long ways in that right center field gap.
Angulo, a senior from Sunnyvale, California.
Comes up empty on a healthy cut there, 0-1.
His favorite sports hero is the great Jackie Robinson. That's not a bad role model there.
Not at all. Runner at first is Macy. And Gulo waits the 0-1, takes low, 1-1. Jimenez kind of with a long look in. Just trying to see where that one missed. AJ Jimenez, almost out of like a crouch. Sets at the belt. The 1-1 to Angulos. Fouled back 1-2.
That is interesting, his pitching stance. He does that low crouch, and he doesn't really kick that leg out that far. So that's all arm and upper body strength he's using. Seems to be working out well for him.
Stands on the first base side of the rubber. Peers on in, gets the sign from Santa Cruz. Look at Macy at first. Out comes to Angulo. That one's rifled into center field. Back-to-back hits and going first to third. And now Angulo's gonna run over to second. The throw by the third baseman, Granado's gonna go into right field. Coming on in and scoring is Macy.
Very unfortunate right there. A great hit by Angulo right there into that gap into center. And Macy's determination to get all the way to third was the beginning of the end, because then there's that throw to second with Angulo trying to take it. Wild throw.
There's a base hit by Angulo. Macy went first to third on the hit. Macy was able to score from third to home on the throwing error by Granado at third, allowing Angulo to put himself in scoring position at second. As Jimenez dials in a strike to Mulrooney. But that's just Whittier trying to get a little bit more aggressive on the base paths. Not taking anything for granted, going first to third on a base hit up the middle, testing the arm of Brandon Vogel in center field. And Laverne trying to getting a little bit complacent here. Now with the 7-5 lead, have to pick things up. As Jimenez is 0-1, in there 0-2.
So you would definitely assume that this should get Laverne to really wake up and realize this the 7-run lead that they have is quickly diminishing, and one good swing of the bat could tie it up.
0-2's put in play to the right side. Nick Michaels, the underhand flip to Jimenez. Made it a little bit close there at first. They get the out. Moving from second to third was Michael Angulo.
Now batting number 16, Mason Blancett.
Mason Blancett comes up. Some of the Whittier fans telling him just like last time, he promptly doubled 380 feet off the fence in left center field here at Ben Hines. Represents the tying run here. First one from Jimenez to Blancett is outside 1-0. Inning began with Tirefs grounding out to second. Macy would single. Angulo would single. Then you would have Macy testing the arm, going first and third. Throwing error by Granado allowed Macy to come in to score, and Angulo reaching to second. As this one's going to be put in play to the left side. It'll be the shortstop, Benson, over to first in time for out number 3. Whittier adds another one here in the top half of the 5th. On 2 base hits and an error, they left one at third base. We go bottom 5 halfway through here. Laverne hanging on to a 7-5 lead.
That was great fielding and a great throw out there. That could have ended badly.
Thank you.
But Jimenez able to manage the chaos out there and only allow 1 run.
For Laverne, they got to turn the tide quickly here. 7-5, Redland still up on top against Pomona Pitzer. Laverne needing to win in order to clinch first and have that home field in the SCIAC postseason tournament.
Right now, Redland still in the lead in the bottom of the 7th in their contest, 5-2 over Pomona Pitzer. They have 2 outs and bases loaded themselves out there.
If Redlands were to win and Laverne were to somehow drop this game 2 right here, then Redlands would be hosting the SCIAC postseason tournament and would be the lone SCIAC champions of the regular season. So still work to be done for this Laverne team.
But
18-5 in SCIAC.
Here's a guy that can surely get it done.
Second baseman,
Mauricio
number
Guadarrama.
3, Mauricio Guadarrama.
1 for 2, but he can get hits. He's got 1 hit, 1 run on the game.
Takes a strike. 0-1 the count. 8-9-1 due up for Laverne here in the bottom half of the 5th. Guadarrama is going to rifle that one to the third baseman, Mason Blancett.
That's the second straight time in as many innings that's happened to a Laverne hitter. He's hitting it directly into Blancett's glove.
Now batting
And the last one was
shortstop,
Lucas
number 2,
Granado,
Benson.
his counterpart at third. Blancett, a couple of line drives. They don't call that the hot corner for nothing. Able to handle those ones after making an error earlier. So take a look at the nice grab right there.
And that's unfortunate. You want to build, if you're Laverne, you want to build this momentum, but then you just have nice fielding by plays like that that just hurt your morale.
Jacob Benson, number 9 hitter, shortstop, 1 for 2 today.
Once
Ahead of the
again-
count, 1-0, 2-0.
But once again, you got to give it up to Turpin, who's been able to come in after being down 7-0 and has just been battling and has not allowed Laverne to score any additional runs since that opening inning.
Turpin rocks and delivers low, 3-0. Starter for Whittier was Justin Ushio. Only went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 4 hits, 7 runs. Only 1 run from Laverne was earned. Ushio walked 1 and struck out none. As that's a 4-pitch walk to Jacob Benson. Second time he's reached base safely here. The lineup turns over. Once again, it'll be Christopher Liggett.
Now batting right fielder number 4, Chris Liggett.
Chris with his 4th plate appearance here in the home half of the 5th. Turpin sets at the chest, out of the stretch. Liggett fouls it at the plate. 0-1. Liggett 0 for 2, reached base in the 2nd inning via the hit by pitch. A hit on that left shoulder.
You know, Liggett right now is the leadoff hitter in this lineup. He would love nothing more than to get on base and allow these other big bats to come in and do their stuff.
As Liggett's going to take one again. Second time he's been hit by the pitch today. And Laverne, kind of a little rally here going with a walk and a hit by pitch. They've netted runners at
Now
first
batting
and
center
second
fielder number 6,
for one of those big
Brandon
bats you were
Vogel.
talking about, Chris, Brandon Vogel.
Vogel's had himself quite a game, going 2 for 2 thus far. He's got 2 base hits and a walk.
After retiring the Laverne hitters in order the last half inning, Turpin has worked himself into trouble here as he misses. Outside 1-0 to Vogel.
Little timeout as they rush to the mound.
Just to get a check in on Tim Turpin. Make sure he's feeling all right. Has worked 3 2/3 inning out of the pen He's allowed 3 hits, no runs, walked 2, and has struck out 1.
Despite how many hits he's given up or walks, it's that goose egg there under the run category that's really been his highlight. Everything seems to be good. Ready to go.
Turpin definitely does have the stamina. He's worked 9 innings, the most he's worked. March 20th against Fassar, the 9-0 win for Whittier. And 2 other times he's pitched 7 innings in games. Here's a pickoff attempt. At second, it's gonna bounce off. Benson was in there safely at second. Inning began, the line drive right at the third baseman off the bat of Guadarrama for out number 1. Benson would then walk on 4 pitches, and Liggett would reach base after getting hit by the pitch for the 2nd time in this game. As Vogel takes low, 2-0.
Got to be some nerves racking for Turpin having to face Vogel with 2 runners on base.
Vogel 2 for 2 against Turpin today. Turpin sets at the chest, a couple of looks at second, misses to Vogel, 3-0.
Walk here would be bad for Turpin. You load the bases for the 3rd time in this game. And then you got Thomas coming up, who he hasn't gotten a hit yet. But one good swing of the bat, and he could turn this into a whole different game.
3-0 finds the strike zone. Taken all away was Vogel. Infield and double play depth for Whittier. Outfield straight away. Vogel with the count in his favor. The 3-1 is going to be chopped to the left side. The third baseman. Blancett is going to put the tag on Benson.
Now batting, the designated hitter number 25.
Blancett getting the tag out. Looked like he was trying to get someone else out, but none of the other infielders seemed to be acknowledging that he was ready to throw it.
So 2 away, home half of the 5th. Laverne 7-5 over Whittier. In steps Jacob Thomas. Still the only Laverne hitter to not reach base safely in game 2 as he grounds to third, the short way to second for the fielder's choice in out number 3. He played 5 full innings here at Ben Hines Field. Laverne has won the first 5 innings, 7-5 over Whittier. We go top 6. You're watching the SkyAct Baseball on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television.
To pose, now sure. She makes the sun seem deep in the lost sea.
Top of the 6th here at Ben Hines Field. Laverne over Whittier by a score of 7-5. Laverne scoring all 7 runs in the home half of the 1st inning. For Whittier, they put up 4 in the top of the 4th. and added another one in the top of the 5th. They look to continue that trend here in the top half of the 6th. New pitcher on the mound for Laverne will be Chris Paris, a 2.88 ERA on the year, 2-1 win-loss record, 15 appearances, all of them out of the bullpen, has 7 saves on the season, is looking perhaps trying to go quite a bit here for Laverne. In 34 1/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 20 hits, 11 runs, all of which have been earned, has walked 12 batters to an impressive 44 strikeouts on the season, so he's got swing and miss stuff.
Now Paris, he played in game 1, but not as a pitcher, but he still put up some pretty good numbers as a hitter at playing right field in game 1. He went 3 of 2, 2 of 3. He was walked once. So he can do it all.
Now batting number 8.
So Paris comes in on relief for AJ Jimenez. Final line on Jimenez, 1 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run he was earned, no walks with a strikeout.
And that's surprising that they pulled him out. I would assume that they would have kept him in a little bit longer, at least another inning.
Paris sets at the belt. High leg kick, pumps it past Kriska, 0-1. Paris working to the end of the lineup, 7, 8, and 9 for Whittier. Kriska, Castro, and Samsing do up. Infield and outfield play Kriska straight up. Whittier, right fielder, having himself a pretty decent game 2. Takes outside, 1-1.
And as mentioned, this is the fifth pitcher Laverne's throwing in already in the 6th. So you got to wonder if how many more pitchers they have available, and which one of these guys you think they're going to keep in for the long run.
1-1 paints the outside corner, 1-2. Laverne, you got to figure it's pretty much all hands on deck in here in game 2. Final game of the regular season. They win, they're able to host this SCIAC postseason tournament. The 1-2 from Paris to Kriska. Foul tipped, kept by Santa Cruz. Down on strikes goes Kriska for out number 1.
Now batting number 26.
By the looks of it,
Steven
Redlands is going to
Castro.
win their contest, up 7-2, top of the 8th. Then again, Mona Pizza can easily put up 5 runs in an inning. We've already seen Whittier almost pull that off.
And steps Steven Castro. Castro takes upstairs, 1-0. That last strikeout was only the 3rd strikeout from Laverne pitching staff. Castro with an inside stance has that left foot ahead of his right foot as he takes another strike. 1-1. Takes one at the knees, 1-2. Castro didn't like that one. Kind of dropped that bat head down on the dirt.
Paris working on those outside corners.
Paris sets at the belt. The leg kick, the 1-2 is fouled off the netting to the right side. We'll do it again. One away, bases empty, top of the 6th. Whittier trails by 2. Tying run is on deck in Jared Samsing. Paris 1-2, swung on, put in play to the left side. Granado, the 3rd baseman, long throw across the diamond for out number 2.
batting number 12, Jared Sampson.
Great job fielding the ball by Granado, able to scoop it up and throw it all the way across to Michaels to get that second out.
First one of Samsung in there, 0-1. Samsung, 1 for 1 in game 2, a walk with a single. It's picked off in the 4th inning, part of that rally killer for Whittier. As he takes low, 1-1. Before that pickoff, it was 1st and 3rd for Whittier. They had already scored 4 runs in the top of the 4th. Jimenez was able to pick him off, and then after that, Lamar would strike out to end that big 4th inning for Whittier. There's sets. The 1-1. Put in play to the left side. Benson, the shortstop, over to first in time. Chris Paris works a quick 1-2-3, top of the 6th. We go bottom 6 here at Ben Hines Field. Laverne trying to tack on some runs here and add to their 7-5 lead over Whittier.
That was a huge 1-2-3 inning for Perez. Not allowing any further base runners, not allowing Whittier to basically keep this inning going.
That 1-2-3 inning for Paris was the first 1-2-3 inning by Laverne pitching staff since the opening inning by Nick Bird was able to retire Lamar, Tiriffs, and Macy.
If you notice, one of the big things, especially with Whittier, is they kept these innings dragging on, ongoing, and that's allowed themselves to put these runs on the board. Tired out Laverne, made him complacent. Now you got a quick 1-2-3 inning, quick throw out right there to move this on. And now you got Nick Michaels coming up on deck, who can hopefully change everything and get something going for this Laverne offense that has kind of been stagnant since the opening inning.
So 4, 5, and 6 due up for Laverne.
Leading off for your Leopards, first baseman number 10, Nick Michaels.
Michaels 2 for 3 in this game 2. Promptly drills this one deep to left center field. It is going to go off the fencing in left center field. It is the second double of the game, 3rd hit by Michaels. In game number 2, he's having himself quite the day.
What did I say? He can change it with one big swing.
Now batting catcher
And
number 23,
he
Adam
hit that ball
Cruz.
hard. And that Whittier outfield was snuck in a little bit. I don't think they expected the ball to go that far, and it went right over their heads, bouncing off the wall and allowing Michaels to get that stand-up double. And now you got the RBI machine stepping up to the plate to help bring him home.
Santa Cruz 0 for 2 in game 2. Takes outside, 1-0. Santa Cruz, the catcher for Laverne, took a foul pitch, foul ball off of his right wrist. He was down on both knees, and it looked very concerning for Laverne. He was able to shake it off, stay in the game. So 1-0, outside 2-0.
And you also got to wonder, he was diving for the ball a lot in a couple of those innings. Made a couple crazy dives where he was probably on that wrist, and you got to wonder if that's taken any effect as well.
And they don't call the catchers the toughest players in baseball for nothing. They take quite the beating back there, sitting in a crouch for 9 innings, about 3 hours every game, getting foul balls off of them every single time. Then you expect them to go out there and get a clutch RBI hit like Adam Santa Cruz right here as he rifles this one into center field. Holding put at 3rd. will be Michaels.
He gets a nice hit finally right there in the center field, advancing Michaels to third.
Holding Michaels at third, still nobody out.
Now batting,
Don't
third
want to
baseman,
run yourself
number
into
9,
trouble
Lucas
here.
Granado.
I was going to comment with how much you say catchers are there crouched over. I was like, man, my knees are hurting just thinking about it. Apparently works well for Santa Cruz, getting that nice hit.
Able to stretch out those knees there as he jogs to first after that base hit, as you take a look at that replay. And quite the arm that you saw right there by Brandon Mulrooney. On the fly, perfect throw to the catcher, Steven Castro.
Mulrooney's been making some highlight plays here in game 2.
First pitch swinging is Granado. He's going to lift it into shallow center field. The second baseman makes the grab. Andrew Lamar shading his eyes from the sun for out number 1.
Drop back a bit to make that grab. It looked like he was going to, like he almost lost it there for a second.
Number 22, Ryan
Michaels is
Aguilar.
waiting to see if that ball hit the ground before he could take off to home. A great grab and holding Michaels at third prevents any runs from being scored.
So it'll be the pinch hitter, Ryan Aguilar, pinch hitting for Gabe Lopez. And it looks as if Tim Turpin, his great outing out of the pen, kind of saving this game for Whittier, is going to be done.
Talking about Ryan Aguilar, in 19 games played, he's got a .308 average, 5 RBIs, 6 runs, and 1 stolen base. A junior out of Chino Hills. He will go against the new pitcher that Whittier has warming up.
It'll be Justin Codinger, 4.03 ERA, 2-1,
Now pitching
9 appearances, 3 starts. Pitched in the game 1, has 24 to third innings pitched, allowed 28 hits, 14 runs, 10 of which have been earned, has walked 8 and has struck out 14. In game 1, gave up 2 hits, no runs, walked 1 batter and struck out a batter in 2 innings of work.
Come on, Marcus, go. Right here. Come on. Okay, Mike. 22 is Verne. Now we have 30 now batting.
You got to wonder how his arm is feeling after game 1, if he can still put on, if he can still throw some heat.
So Laverne is actually going to go to another pinch hitter.
Here we go.
They're going to burn Ryan Aguilar with the lefty coming in to face the lefty. We're going to bring in a right-handed batter to face Codinger. And it's a big situation here. That's why you got to know Scott Winterberg trying to capitalize on this first and third situation here with 1 out.
And you have to, because Laverne has been leaving too many guys on base. They need a score here to at least cushion this lead a little bit. A 2-run lead can change with a swing.
It'll be number 30, Mark Abate, pinch hitting.
Abate played in game 1 and struck out in his only plate appearance in the 9th.
Yeah, and this at-bat, just not trying to do too much here. Trying to get a fly ball in the outfield with Michaels' speed at third. Probably going to be able to drive him in. Just keep the ball in the air
pinch hitting for
and deep
Laverne.
enough. Don't want to put it on the ground
Mark
and have a
Abate.
twin killer here in the home half of the 6th.
You definitely want to try and get some air underneath that ball. Or even if you ground it, get it into those gaps. But here we go.
Bottom of the 6th, big moment here for Laverne. Trying to extend
their 2-run lead over Whittier. Codinger to Abade's low, 1-0. Corners are in for Whittier. Middle of the infield in double play depth. Outfield straight away. Codinger sets at the chest as Abadi gets this one in the air. It'll go foul territory, long run for the first baseman, Matthew Macy. No one was covering the plate at the moment. Codinger was able to run over there.
That was a smart move. I like that strategy. Michaels looked like he was going to go to home. So that way the infield would focus on him and allowed Santa Cruz to advance to second unattested.
Now batting, second baseman number 3, Mauricio Guadarrama.
So great strategy there, despite that pop fly that resulted in an out.
And the Whittier fans showing their appreciation on that last play. A lot of Whittier fans traveling over here, making the trip, watching this doubleheader between Laverne and their Whittier team. Been a long day. First game started at 11 a.m. Game 2 promptly started at 2:53. There's a big 2-out situation. 2 runners in scoring position. In the home half of the 6th, Laverne trying to extend their 2-run lead, courtesy of Mauricio Guadarrama at the dish. Takes a strike, 0-1. All 7 runs by Laverne have come in this situation with 2 outs. All 7 coming in that first inning. Whittier scoring 4 in the top of the 4th and added a solo run in the top of the 5th. Justin Codinger sets at the chest, peers back at second. 0-1 to Guadarrama is going to be fouled back over the netting towards the right side, 0-2.
Guadarrama is someone that can quickly shift the momentum in Laverne's favor with one swing. He can easily try and get that ball into that huge gap in between the infielders and outfielders.
Codinger not responsible for the 2 runners on base. Both are responsible of Tim Turpin.
Codinger, a junior out of Stockton, California, graduated from Bear Creek High School.
The 0-2 to Guadarrama is going to be fouled back to the right side. We'll do it again.
Codinger's sports hero is a famous pitcher, CC Sabathia from the Yankees.
Still being able to deal it. Codinger trying to get himself out of the jam as Guadarrama spoils another one off, foul to the right side.
You have to like the aggressiveness from Guadarrama.
Guadarrama 1 for 3 in game 2. Had an RBI single back in the bottom half of the first. Reached on an E6 his second time. And then lined out to the third baseman his last time. Whittier 5 runs on 7 hits, have committed 3 errors. Laverne 7 runs on 9 hits, they've committed 2 errors. We're in the bottom half of the 6th. Runner at third is Michaels, runner at second is Santa Cruz. Guadarrama at the dish. Codinger the lefty. The 0-2 with 2 outs will be delayed as Guadarrama asks for time. Codinger just trying to delay. And get Guadarrama out of a groove up there.
Well, this can be a game-shifting moment right here. With 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position. With the count the way it is.
And this one's going to be drilled into right field, scooting on over 10 steps back. Right in front of the warning track is Nick Kriska. He's been there all game long in right field, making play after play. Comes up there
Congratulations to the University of
again
Laverne softball
for
team, who clinched their third consecutive
Whittier,
SCIAC
out number 3.
championship today.
He has certainly been busy all game. And it shows right there as he comes through once again with another big grab. Cottinger able to come out and put away Laverne.
So we'll go to the top of the 7th.
The SCIAC tournament
Laverne
beginning
7,
next Friday.
Whittier 5. Take a look at the last out. You're watching SCIAC Baseball on LVTV 3, Laverne Community Television.
Got a quarter?
Top of the 7th here in Laverne, California. Ben Hines Field is the site. Laverne over Whittier, 7-5. Chris Perez working in his second inning of work. Final line on Tim Turpin as he came out of the game. In the last half inning, he went 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed, thanks to Cottinger able to escape a first and third jam with 1 out. Walked 2 batters and struck out 1. Top of the lineup, due up. Lamar, Tiriffs, and Macy as we enter the late innings here.
Paris was able to get that quick 1-2-3 inning in his last trip to the mound. See if he can do it again.
That one by Lamar is going to be ripped into the left center field gap. It'll go all the way to the fence. Cutting it off is the center fielder, Vogel. A stand-up double to lead off the top of the 7th for Whittier. Puts the tying run at the plate in Daniel Tiriffs.
Now batting number 11, Daniel Tiriffs.
Grant Thompson in at center field. Gabe Lopez out of the game after he was pinched hit for in the last half inning. Chris Liggett moves over to left and Brandon Vogel moves over to right. Pulled it back, then took a healthy hack. 0-1 as Tiriffs comes up empty.
That was a nice pitch that went up in the zone. Tiriffs just couldn't make contact. Swung at nothing but air.
There's a look. Out comes outside. 1-1. Congratulations goes out to Laverne softball team, able to win their 3rd consecutive division title in SCIAC. They will be hosting the SCIAC tournament playoffs next week over there at Campus West. Here next to Ben Hines Field, so a lot of action could be happening over here for Laverne as Tiriff swings and misses at a high heater, 1-2.
Now this definitely turns into a must-win for Laverne, with Redlands topping Pomona Pitzer 7-3.
If Laverne can hang on and win this one, next week softball and baseball will be hosting SCIAC postseason tournament. Andrew Lamar led off with a double. Perez sets at the belt. Now comes 1-2's foul down the right field line. Chris Perez stands almost all the way towards the third base side of the rubber. So that righty on righty, it's almost as if the ball is going to be coming right at you from the arm angle.
Paris, a junior from Burbank. Graduated from John Burroughs. Majoring in business. Let's see if he can handle business.
The 1-2. Swung on and fouled. Staying alive is Tariffs.
Big at-bats for Whittier here.
1-2 the count. Still nobody out. Runner in scoring possession is Lamar. Tying run is at the plate in Tariffs. The 1-2 swung on and fouled to the right side. It'll clear the netting.
Turf's definitely dueling it out here with Chris Paris. Who will come out on top?
Tariffs behind in the count, 1-2. Just trying to protect. Perez trying to get him out in front. The 1-2 swung on, rifled towards the center fielder, Grant Thompson. The defensive replacement makes the out.
Great fielding by Grant Thompson. The ball went directly to him, and he's able to make his adjustment and make the nice grab. And that kept Lamar at second to prevent him from advancing.
Grant Thompson also showing off his ability to throw the ball as well. Keeping Lamar honest at second.
Now you got two of Whittier's best hitters of the day at the plate and on deck with Macy and Angulo.
Macy, the righty, comes up empty on a big swing, 0-1.
Nice low outside corner pitch by Paris.
Macy 2 for 3 today with 2 singles. Last 2 at bats. Pair of hits. Paris sets just below the belt. Peers back at second. Another look at second. High leg kick, delivers. That one's going to be fouled right off of Santa Cruz. And just as we were talking about, catcher's taking a beating out there. Santa Cruz taking one today.
Santa Cruz is, in fact, taking a lot of abuse back there, but he's been sticking with it. And he just lets him pay when he steps to the plate.
Infield and outfield straight up. Grant Thompson, the center fielder, shading slightly towards right center field. One away here in the top of the 7th. 0-2 from Paris, outside 1-2.
Paris trying to get Macy to chase that pitch outside to try and strike him out. Macy didn't bite on it.
Paris comes and sets, plants his feet. Look at second. Now we'll throw to second. Back in there with the head first dive is Lamar. Inning began with Lamar doubling to left center field. Daniel Tariffs would fly out to center. Matthew Macy behind in the count 1-2 with one away. Represents the tying run here in the top of the 7th for Whittier as they trail Laverne 7-5. Paris out of the set. Called strike 3, Matthew Macy. Window shops for a big out number 2.
Fastball right down the center, dropped low, and caught Macy looking. Macy was probably looking for another pitch, didn't get what he wanted, and a huge strikeout by Paris.
So one big out for Paris. He needs one more here as the cleanup hitter Michael Angulo comes up. 2 for 3, a double and a single with a run scored and an RBI. Nearly homered in his second at-bat of game 2 off the left center field wall, 380 feet. First one to Angulo is in the dirt. It's going to get past Santa Cruz, and moving over to third is Lamar.
That's very unfortunate right there. You can't have any wild pitches being thrown like that. It's just going to cause, that can just cause disaster for you.
For Angulo, you don't need to try to do too much here. Just the base hit gets you within 1. And you still got 7 outs to work with.
He may be trying to aim for that 388 again off the wall.
For Laverne, wild pitches have been a problem today. Whittier has scored off of 1. Paris, the 1-0 to Angulo. Upstairs 2-0.
High and outside.
Laverne winning game 1 between this Whittier team, 10-4. Trying to take this one here. They lead 7-5 in the top half of the 7th. It's Paris behind in the count 2-0 to Michael Angulo. Sets and delivers high 3-0.
Pitched it to that exact same area, that upper corner. And after Angulo, you know you have the green light to take a swing.
Right side of the infield, shading Angulo up the middle. The 3-0. Taking all the way, 3-1.
Fastball just inside that outside corner. Able to get a strike. Angulo might be trying to take a huge swing right here.
Thompson, the center fielder, shifts over. The 3-1 in the dirt, able to hold up. The appeal did not go around, so Angulo reaches base via the walk. Runners at the corners, so the tying runner is at first in Angulo. Go ahead run at the plate in Brandon Mulrooney.
Looks like he kind of lost his grip on the ball, released it a little too late, and then sent it straight to the dirt. Luckily, Santa Cruz is able to stop it from rolling.
Mulrooney kind of got this Whittier team up off their feet with a highlight play in center field, chasing down a ball, crashing into the fence. He fouls this one back 0-1. After that play, Whittier would come up in the top of the 4th and put up 4 runs, followed by a run in the 5th. Looking for more here in the top of the 7th. 2 outs, runners at the corners. Mulrooney representing the go-ahead run. Laverne 7-5.
Lamar been out there on base for quite a while. He's probably itching to take a shot at home.
Paints the outside corner, 0-2. So Mulrooney now in the hole. Gonna have to protect now. Mulrooney in game 2 is 1 for 2. Single and a hit by pitch, have scored a run.
And you know this at-bat is huge. 2 strikes, 2 outs. You're down by 2. You have 2 runners on base. The deuces are wild.
0-2, swung on and fouled back.
It's at that point of the game where every swing kind of makes your heart stop, especially in this situation. It's baseball drama at its finest.
Infield and outfield pretty much straight up. Center fielder Grant Thompson, the only one shifting over to the right, towards right center field. There's sets. Big 0-2 pitch is going to be smacked right up the middle. A base hit by Mulrooney. Coming on in to score is Andrew Lamar, and Whittier is now within 1. It is now 7-6.
Ice in the veins of Mulrooney. He is having himself a game today, both hitting and fielding.
Now batting number 16.
Despite being down in the count, still able to get a nice swing into center field and advance Lamar to home to bring you within 1. And Blancett, someone who had a big hit earlier in this game, about to step up.
30.
So Scott Winterburn's going to go out there, have a chat.
That replay as that ball flies by, it's just a nice little jog for Lamar into home.
Having a chat with Chris Paris. The tying run is at second. Go-ahead run is at first. We're in the top of the 7th. 7-6. Laverne still holding that 7-6 lead. It was originally 7-0 after 1 here at Ben Hines Field.
If I would have told
Whittier.
If I would have told you at the beginning of this game that Laverne would be up 7-0 at the end of the 1st, and it would be almost tied now in the 7th, would you believe me?
Probably not. Probably not. After going down 10-4 in game 1, and then almost getting down 7-0. Well, actually getting down 7-0 as we take a look at another base hit just out of the reach of Chris Paris.
Six unanswered for Whittier. Laverne's bats have been silent for the most part.
Yeah. So take a look, warming up in the bullpen for Laverne. Action out there.
I gotta make a correction. Laverne's bats haven't been silent, it's just their offense has been silent. Unable to make those advances.
The first one's gonna dip low to Mason Blancett. 1-0 the count.
Big at bat here for Blancett. Big at bat here for Paris. Who comes out on top?
Blancett awaits the 1-0 from Paris. Comes up empty, 1-1.
Nice little breaking ball to the outside. Blancett swinging, missing, catching nothing but air.
Tying run at second in Michael Angulo. Gotta be tough for him to score on a base hit. Might need to get it in the gap. This Paris, a couple of looks. Now comes to his hitter outside, 2-1. Angulo at second, Mulrooney at first. Inning began with a Andrew Lamar double. Then Turfs and Macy would quickly go down. Angulo would extend it with a walk. Mulrooney with a base hit RBI. And here's Blancett trying to keep it going. And they come down all the way from 7-0. Takes a strike, 2-2.
If you notice what I've been saying from the beginning, Whittier has kept their side of the frame going for quite a while, and they're always able to come up with some sort of run during that period. When they go through a quick 1-2-3 inning, they're not able to get anything going. But when they're able to drag it on like this, it becomes exhausting for Laverne. It becomes exhausting for the pitcher on the mound. And they're able to take full advantage of it.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2 the count. 7-6 Laverne here in the top half of the 7th. Paris sets at the belt. Comes to Blancett, and Blancett window shops for a big out number 3. Chris Paris tiptoes his way out of trouble. Laverne hangs on to their 1-run lead. We go bottom 7, time to stretch here at Ben Hines Field.
And Paris was not about to let another batter get one on him. He was up 0-2 in the last hitter. You see, caught him swing, caught him watching. Huge strikeout right there. But now Laverne needs to come alive. They need to get that offense going and try and put some runs on the board and separate themselves from Whittier.
A lot of men left on bases on both sides, so you got to figure whoever's going to come up empty in this one is going to look to their missed opportunities. For Laverne, they have left 9 men on base already through only 6 innings. For Whittier, they have left 6 people on base through 7 innings. It'll be Codinger who came in the last half inning to tiptoe Tim Turpin out of trouble. For Laverne, it'll be 9-1-2. Benson, Liggett, and Vogel. Laverne desperately trying to scratch away just a few more runs to tack on some more and have some insurance runs here, as Whittier has just been etching themselves closer and closer each half inning. You take a look at some of the Laverne fans there, kind of the same energy that the Laverne team has had since that first inning. Just kind of sitting on their lead, whereas Whittier has been doing anything they can. In steps the shortstop, Benson. 1 for 2, a single in the first, scored a run, and grounded out to second, and then last time up, walked in, was stranded at second. Codinger misses outside, 1-0 to Jacob Benson. Benson trying to get this rally started for Laverne.
This is a big at-bat for Benson. Can he get the leadoff hit?
Takes a strike, 1-1. Laverne has yet to get the leadoff runner on base since the second inning.
Off-speed pitch to the outside.
Beautiful pitch, just misses. 2-1. Lefty on righty matchup here. Codinger came in. Got the final out. The fifth. 2-1 is upstairs, 3-1.
Nice little breaking ball inside. It just didn't get into the strike zone. Had a nice little break at the end. But good job on Benson sticking and just watching it go by.
As mentioned, Redlands already have won over Pomona-Pitzer. So nonetheless, Redlands, as the 3-1 is going to be called strike two. Benson was on his way over to first, thought it was outside. He'll have to go back there and work. So Redlands for sure has guaranteed at least some type of division win. Either it'll be with Laverne or solo. But the big thing is here, if Laverne wins, they host. If not, Redlands hosts.
I'm right there with Benson. I was pretty sure that that was outside for ball 4. The umpire being a little generous with that outside edge.
Payoff pitch from Codinger to Benji. This one's going to be popped up in the right fielder's glove. Nick Kriska's there, out number 1.
Now batting right fielder number 4, Chris Liggett.
Nice swing, just unfortunately goes right to the same guy that's been making grabs all day. Kurska having a lot of work done out there in right field.
For Laverne, if they're able to hang on to this 7-6 lead, as Liggett comes up, 1 away, bases empty in the home half of the 7th. It'll be their first SCIAC Division Championship since 2010, as Liggett shoots this one into left field for a base knock.
Huge hit for Liggett. His first hit of the day, and he needed something big like that.
First hit of the day, but third time reaching base in this game. The other 2 times he was hit by the pitch. This time he hits the ball back. Insurance run out there at first is Liggett. 1 away in the home half of the 7th. Brandon Vogel, the outfielder for Laverne, steps in. 2 for 3. 2 singles and 2 runs batted in on the game. Codinger, a couple of looks at first. Now comes in there 0-1 to Vogel. Infield for Whittier at double play depth, the 0-1. Just misses the outside corner. 1-1. 6 runs on 9 hits for Whittier, 7 runs on 10 hits for Laverne. In the bottom half of the 7th here at Ben Hines Field. Wind still moving from left to right. It's been there all day long. The 1-1 with 1 away is foul to the right side, 1-2.
Ooh, that was his pitch too. Looks like he swung a little bit too late on it to get that foul. Big at-bats here.
Codinger a long look in at his catcher, Castro. Finally gets the sign he likes. This one's going to be foul to the right side. Off the netting down the right field line for a foul. Count remains 1-2.
Every swing, every pitch is crucial right here for Laverne.
Codinger a much better pitcher on the road as he checks the runner at first. Codinger. One and two the count. One away, bottom of the seventh. 7-6 Laverne up on top of Whittier. This curve doesn't quite get on top of it. 2-2. The junior outfielder trying to get things going here. Liggett at first at a 1-out single. And here's Vogel. Little chopper up the middle. The shortstop is going to throw to second for one. Back to first. In time. 6-4-3 double play. A twin killer for Whittier. Gets them out of trouble here in the bottom half of the seventh. We'll go to the top of the eighth. Laverne trying to hang on to their 7-6 lead. You're watching SkyAct Baseball on LVTV 3, Laverne Community Television.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Top of the eighth here at Ben Hines Field. Laverne trying to hang on to their one-run lead. It is 7-6. All 7 runs coming in the bottom half of the first. Whittier scoring 4 in the top of the fourth, another one in the top of the fifth, and scoring 1 in the top of the seventh, their last at bat. Just 1 run away. Can they come back? Chris, what do you think?
They're going to really have to get those bats going. They have to get the hits that they want. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to. And the one thing that was shooting Whittier in the foot at the beginning of the game and in game 1 was their fielding. And from what we've seen, especially in this last inning, that double play, they've been excelling on it. They've got the formula right now, and that's hurting Laverne because they're not able to really get any big hits, any hits in field that can help them advance runners.
Pear's first pitch finds the outside corner. Nick Kriska, the right fielder, takes a strike, 0-1. You mentioned it right there about the fielding. This game would be a totally different game if Whittier doesn't have those 2 errors in the bottom of the first. 7 runs scored by Laverne, only 1 of which was earned. 0-1 is going to be a comebacker to Perez. He scoops it up, underhand flip to Michaels at first for a big out, number 1.
That was huge. That was something they needed. A base hit could have really rattled Laverne's momentum because Whittier just has been getting on base constantly over the last few innings. And you see, it's been a tale of 2 different games pretty much. 6 unanswered for Whittier, 9 hits. They're getting it going.
As Mike Rizzo, head coach for Whittier, is going to go to the bench. It'll be Dimitri Washington, the lefty, batting .323 on the year. Pinch hitting for the catcher, Steven Castro. As Washington watches one there, right there, strike one.
Dimitri Washington had a pretty decent game 1. He did get hurt and was switched out with Will Reeder near the end of the game. So he must be feeling good now, able to come back out.
Oh, 1 inside corner, 0-2. Paris, like a fine artist, starting to paint now.
You can see if this is a quick inning, Whittier probably won't score. They've been able to score where they've been able to keep the frame just going.
Senior Washington behind in the count, 0-2. Takes low, 1-2.
Probably hoping to catch Washington to swing at that as it went low down the middle. Washington had great plate discipline, decided not to swing at it.
Washington struggles on the road. 192 average compared to 355 hitting at home. Right side of the infield shading Washington to pull. The 1-2 is low, 2-2.
Low inside corner. A little too low for the umpire to call the strike.
And Dimitri Washington, well aware of the strike zone. 17 walks to 18 strikeouts on the season. One out, bases empty. Top of the 8th, Laverne 7, Whittier 6. The 2-2 to Washington from Paris just misses the outside corner. So from 0-2 now to 3-2, and Washington has worked it full.
Great patience by Washington. Now he's in a full count situation.
Payoff pitch to Washington is going to be popped up left side. Long run for Liggett. He makes the running grab in left field about 25 steps in towards the line in shallow left field for out number 2.
Liggett gave it everything he had to run that distance to make the grab.
Now batting number 12, Jared.
That's got to be frustrating for Washington. He stuck with it, he was patient, got the full count, and unfortunately was not able to get the base hit. The ball hung up there just a little too long for him.
In steps another patient hitter in Jared Sampson. Takes a strike, 0-1. Infield and outfield, play Sampson straight up. Paris is 0-1, paints again, 0-2 on the outside corner.
Sampson has walked on 5 of his 6 at-bats. On that 6th at-bat, he got a nice little base hit.
Paris is getting stronger and stronger as the game comes along. We're on his 3rd inning in relief. 0-2, swing and a miss. Gets Sampson swinging. Sampson frustrated, throws his bat. Paris gets the out. A 1-2-3 top of the 8th. We go bottom 8, Laverne trying to add some insurance before the top of the 9.
As I said, Whittier will not score if it's a quick inning like that. And that was just a great job by Paris. His confidence boosted up. And considering the fact that we saw someone warming up in the bullpen and they didn't pull out Paris, that's great. That may have been it for Paris there. But what a job to close out that inning, get 1, 2, 3 out. But now it's up to the bats of Laverne to light it up, try and get some cushion in between this one-run lead. They have been quiet since the first. Can they come alive?
Coming in defensively for Whittier.
35 to 4.
As you can hear, home plate umpire 35 coming in. Andrew Fierro batting 167 on the season. Dimitri Washington pinched hit for Steven Castro, would fly out, had a great at bat. Still on the mound is Justin Codinger, trying to do all he can and keep it at a one-run game. But he'll face the heart of the lineup, 3, 4, and 5, Thomas, Michaels, and Santa Cruz here in the bottom half of the 8th. Jacob Thomas having a long game 2, 0 for 4. A couple of flyouts, a strikeout, and a fielder's choice. You got to figure that bat is just one swing away from breaking out of that mini slump he's in.
And with him, he can do it. There were he had some really great hits in game 1. There was one in particular I remember. He hit it, it bounced, and it looked like this thing was going to go out. But it just flew over the first baseman's head and completely out of his glove and everything. He has some power. If he hits it directly to you, you're going to have to grab it.
Codinger goes off speed to Thomas. Kind of a trend what Whittier has been doing. As Thomas takes another strike. Whittier's been going off speed first pitch to Thomas in both of these games. Codinger sets at the chest. This one's going to be lifted into right field. Risk is there, makes the catch, barely has to move anything. It's perfectly aligned there defensively, 1 out.
Just hit the tip of his bat. Had he hit the barrel, the center of the barrel, that ball would have been destroyed.
And there's another off speed that they were attacking Thomas with, and he was out in front.
You got Nick Michaels, who's gone 3 for 4 today. He's been a big factor in this game. He's been helping them get on base. They just need to get someone at home.
It's also a big factor in game 1. Drove in 4 of the 10. Has driven in 1 in this game as he foul tips this one. 0-1. 49 runs batted in on the season for Nick Michaels. Good enough to first for Laverne in that category. Cleanup hitter has done his job all year long. Infield and outfield play him straight up. Codinger gets the sign from his new catcher, Fierro. 0-1. Outside 1-1.
If you're Laverne, you want to at least try and get out of this inning with 1 run scored. The way Whittier's been playing, you don't want to give him an opportunity to score multiple.
1-1 to Michaels is going to be shot deep to right field. Kriska's on the track for out number 2. And that one kind of got a little bit help with that wind blowing out to right field. Not hit too hard, but gave it a pretty good ride. Out number 2.
Now batting catcher, number 23, Adam Santa Cruz.
It'll be Adam Santa Cruz to try to keep this inning alive. Codinger has gotten Thomas and Michaels to fly out to right. Quickly 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th, bases empty for Santa Cruz. 7-6 Laverne over Whittier. Codinger in on relief for Whittier. The lefty hurls in their low 1-0. Santa Cruz 1 for 3. Base hit by pitch, scored a run.
If there's anyone that can get on base for Laverne, it would be Santa Cruz.
The 1-0 is going to be put in play. Another one for Kriska in right field. This time in right center field, makes the grab. 3 flyouts for Codinger. All of them to Kriska in right field. A 1-2-3, bottom half of the 8th. We go top 9. Laverne 3 outs away from becoming co-champs with Redlands and Skyac. For the first time since 2010, you're watching Skyac Baseball on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
Should be?
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Top of the 9th here at Ben Hines Field in the lovely Laverne, California, as the sun is starting to make its way through the clouds here in Southern California. Laverne 3 outs away from becoming co-champs with Redlands. It'll be the first time since 2010 that they've been able to win this Skyac regular season.
This is a huge inning for Laverne. Can they get out of here with a win without scoring any additional runs? It's been a tight game, and they haven't really done anything since the first. This is what it comes down to, 3 outs.
Laverne, they scored all 7 runs in the home half of the first. Whittier, 4 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 7th. It'll be Chris Paris trying to finish things off. It's been masterful out of the pen for Coach Winterburn. Paints the outside corner, 0-1. Been living on that outside corner last 2 half innings. Andrew Lamar, the leadoff hitter, trying to get things started for Whittier. 1, 2, and 3 due up. 0-1 to Lamar. Again, 0-2, and this one Lamar did not like. Really good crowd here at Ben Hines Field, about 300 in attendance. Fans from Whittier's side and, of course, from Laverne.
With Lamar, you recall earlier, he was struck out by A.J. Jimenez. Seemed very frustrated, and then he came out his next at-bat and just crushed a nice double.
The 0-2 just sprayed off to the right side by Lamar.
Determined to stay alive.
Infield and outfield play Lamar straight up. Lamar's last time up in the 7th led off with a double and then came across to score on the RBI knock by Mulrooney. Trying to do the same here. The 0-2 once again sprayed foul to the right side. The first base coach by Whittier barehanded it off of the dugout, home base dugout. Fans applauding him with the bare hand. Paris set at the belt. Again, the 0-2. Swung on and rifled right at the shortstop, Benson, for out number 1.
The ball was flying like that in favor of Whittier all game long when Laverne hitters would hit it. This time it finally pays off for Laverne as Lamar drilled it directly into the glove of Jacob Benson.
In steps Daniel Tariffs, the shortstop. 0 for 4 in game 2. First pitch from Paris is low, 1-0.
You know, Terps would love nothing more than to get a hit this late in the game after going 0 for 4 thus far. He has cost a lot of errors for his team.
1-0, swing and a miss, 1-1.
He would like some poetic justice here to redeem himself and get a huge base hit.
Infield and outfield play Tariff straight up. The shortstop just trying to get on, represents the tying run here in the top of the 9th. Takes just outside. 2-1. The 2-1 is low, 3-1.
Low and in the dirt. Great job by Terps by laying off of that pitch.
Three and one the count to Tariffs. Paris sets and delivers as this one's fouled back 3-2. Just misses that one, does Tariffs.
You got Terps out at the plate. You have Macy on deck. Macy, who's been playing very well today as well.
Payoff pitch just misses. And Tariffs is aboard here in the top of the 9th, representing the tying run.
Down the middle and low, but too low to be called a strike. And Tariffs gets the walk. And the tying run is now on base.
Tariffs has 2 stolen bases on the year, has been caught once. In steps the always dangerous Matthew Macy. First baseman swing and a miss at the upstairs heat, 0-1.
Macy's swinging for the fences. He's not trying to go into extra innings.
A check at first. Tariffs back in there safely.
A lot of drama unfolding before our eyes right now.
Anticipation with every single pitch. Infield and double play depth. 2 outs away, 0-1. Outside corner, Macy not happy with that one. Lets his frustration know. Home plate umpire greeting him back in. 0-2 the count.
So much on the line here in this game. For Laverne, home field advantage in the tournament. A title.
0-2 is going to be drilled to the right side. It'll be foul. As the softball team is making their way into the stands, coming off of their own celebration, clinching regular season championship in Skyac. They'll be hosting the postseason tournament next week, trying to cheer on this baseball team because they're 2 outs away from doing just the same thing. The 0-2 is going to be put in play to the right side. Brandon Vogel over to his right for out number 2.
Nice hit into right field.
And now Laverne is just 1 out away from becoming co-champions in Skyac for the first time since 2010.
It's huge right here with Angulo, who has done so much for this team today in both game 1 and 2. Can he get a big hit?
Comes down to the elite arm out of the pen, Chris Paris, and the elite bat of Whittier and Michael Angulo. First one to Angulo, paints the outside corner 0-1. Tying run stays put at first in Daniel Chirif's go-ahead run for Whittier is at the plate in the capable Michael Angulo.
The pressure mounting for both batter and pitcher.
Top of the 9th, 7-6 Laverne. 2 away, tying run at first. Perez gets the sign from Santa Cruz, sets at the belt. A look at first. Now comes to Angulo, the 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2.
Nice little breaking ball to the outside corner. Angulo taking a shot at it. Just swatting at the flies there on that one. 1 strike away for victory for Laverne.
A lot of the fans have their phones out, getting ready to record the final strike.
Turfs is probably going to take a shot at trying to steal it here.
Chris Paris, a strike away. Sets at the belt, the 0-2 to Angulo, swung on and popped up right side. In foul territory, it'll clear the netting. Had just about everyone running for that one. Santa Cruz was going for it, Paris was going for it, and Nick Michaels at first. Count remains 0-2.
Surprised Turfs didn't try taking a run for it. He got like halfway in between first and second and just kind of froze. That could have been his opportunity to at least attempt to steal. Maybe he'll try it here.
And if Turfs is able to get into scoring position, that takes a big load off of Angulo. Right now, he's got to try to hit one in the gap, maybe to score him.
That shifts the pressure. It shifts it from Angulo to Paris.
Paris stands on the third base side of the rubber, sets at the belt. A look at first. His 0-2 to Angulo is swung on and missed. And Laverne are co-champions in Skyac and will host the postseason tournament next week. Celebration is going on the field. The softball team is in attendance. 300 plus here at Ben Hines Field celebrating this great moment for this team.
That was some great pitching there for Paris in these last 2 innings. Just able to stick with it and hold off this. Just seemed to be an ongoing rally by Whittier. Down up 7-0. Whittier rallied back to within 1. And these last 2 innings, Paris came alive, let that arm go, and it just was on fire here in these last 2 innings.
The 2018 co-Skyac champions are getting a warm applause here at Ben Hines Field. What a way to do it on senior day. on your own home field where you will be hosting the postseason tournament for the first time next week.
And now you use this momentum and you take it into the tournament. Hopefully what we've seen in the last 8 innings won't be a sign of things to come for Laverne. They were on fire in game 1. They were on fire in the first inning. And then they just kind of couldn't get things going. And hopefully now that they will be able to use this, they can reignite those bats, they can get guys healthy, well rested, and be able to take that into the tournament next week.
Yeah, let's not forget, this was a team that scored 7 runs in the bottom half of the first and then went quiet immediately after that. Whittier, you got to give them credit, putting up 6 unanswered runs. As you see, the players saluting the fans and the fans saluting the players. But Whittier, you got to give them credit. 4 runs in the 4th, a run in the 5th, a run in the 7th. It was down to the wire in this one.
It was. It all started with Yoshio, the starting pitcher, a guy that isn't typically a starting pitcher for them. Came out, gave up 7 runs just like that. You thought the sky was falling for Whittier. You thought that it was over. We were even asking, what's the mercy rule? And then, next thing you know, Laverne goes quiet, and Whittier just keeps slowly battling back. They get 4 runs in 1 inning. They get 1. They get 2 in the next 3 innings. And then Laverne able to rally back, and behind the arm of Chris Paris, able to stop that mounting comeback. And through all the drama, making this last game very interesting, very watchable, and everyone sitting on the edge of their seats. And Laverne can now say that they can go home with another W.
Final box score here from Ben Hines Field. Whittier 6 runs on 9 hits, 3 errors. Laverne 7 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors. The winning pitcher will be Travis Moffitt. He improves to 2-0 on the year. The losing pitcher will be Justin Ushio, dropping to 2-3 on the year. Congratulations to the 2018 co-champion in SCIAC Laverne baseball team. They will be back here at Ben Hines Field hosting the postseason tournament next week. Billy Lopez alongside Christopher Livingston saying goodbye.